Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy pre-weekend. Happy post-NBA draft. We are here on Hoop Spaces, and wherever you are listening, we are grateful. Thank you for making this one of the best basketball communities covering the NBA and WNBA on Twitter Spaces. Much appreciated. Lots to get to today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Nets are in disarray. The Los Angeles Lakers have hope for some reason. And we had a whole bunch of people have a lifelong dream come true last night. Lots to get to. Be back in a moment. Thanks, everybody. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You can also find us on YouTube, not just here on Twitter Spaces. Hoop Spaces as itself is going to grow. I want to thank everybody who's made any type of contribution as a listener, as a content creator. Good things coming. On YouTube, powered by audiolabs.io. Check them out. Head over to YouTube, shoot a subscription. We would appreciate that. And understand that we got a lot more coming. This beta has been awesome. We're getting ready to launch a simulcast over to Clubhouse, and they're also working on additional simulcast spots for social drop in audio. So we want to give a big shout out to audiolabs.io. Also in the building, another shout out, Pickup Card Game. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get your copy and pick it up over at slamgoods.com for $25 and have a lifelong attachment to the game that we all love. All right, if you want to get a mic to come up on stage, go ahead, raise it. We got plenty to talk about. 2 tweets up there. First one, please like and retweet. That's the show card. That's what I need. We need that for, cachet, currency, money, dollar bills that don't exist yet. So if you could do that, we definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Kashpiracies and Flopaganda on the Brooklyn Netcast on YouTube last night, as well as Saint from Nets Kingdom and Nets Kingdom AJ. Had a fun time at both places. Got to talk some sports and some Nets, Kyrie Irving, all that jazz. Up on top stage already, Emily Austin, ladies and gentlemen, somebody you should follow. How you doing?
I was so excited for this room after last night. Cash, don't laugh at me. Can you just leave?
Wait, what did he do to you?
He's just a sad Nets fan. No, I'm joking. We all are.
After last night, it was pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of action, a lot of trades, and a lot of hysterical hijinks and buffoonery and hot takery. And then now, are we waiting? Is this the downfall of the Nets, Emily?
I think if they let go of Kyrie, it's like our empire was overthrown, and we have to just relocate and build from scratch.
We'll definitely get to that. I see other people in the building. We got a couple content creators down below. You got Papi Chulo, one of the hosts of 77 Spaces. They actually have a post-draft and pre-off-season Mav space tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Central. I'll get that show card up here momentarily. Also, shout out to Kai Soto. I actually thought he might have been picked up in the back end of the second round, or at least given a free agent deal to go to Summer League, but he's actually foregoing that to go ahead and play for his national team. So shout out to him. Probably expect to see him on a 10-day or two-way contract sometime probably in the season for a team to take a flyer and put him in the G League to see what he can do. All right, that's what I got. Paolo Banchero, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to him. Everybody should be extremely happy and give him a wonderful round of applause. He is the first pick in the 2022 NBA draft, and he had the worst picture in the history of the NBA draft.
Wait, what do you mean?
Did he look happy?
No, but I don't think he ever, okay. Did you see that pre-draft interview he had with I don't know. I was watching the TV before the draft started on my drive, and somebody interviewed him, like a very famous reporter, and the dude did not crack a smile, and he made a joke like, "Oh, how often do people mispronounce your name?" And he was like, "Yeah, they call me Pablo." Like, didn't crack a smile, and it was very light. Like, it was a funny question. I don't know. Kid doesn't seem to smile often.
I mean, I've seen him smile and laugh. I think honestly, what happened was he was told he was going to Orlando, and he thought he was going to. That's what I think happened. So you see, that's the picture I'm talking about. Like, if you're
I mean, Chet was happy to go to OKC. Is that any better?
well, yeah, but he's been trying to go to OKC.
Chet was trying?
Yeah, Chet wanted to go to OKC.
So he didn't want to go to Orlando, you're saying?
No, I don't think nobody other than maybe Jabari Smith wanted to go to Orlando, but that Smith wanted to just go. Like, Jabari doesn't care. He just wants to be in the league. I dig Jabari.
That's how I would think they all feel, you worked so hard to get here and you're here and you're not stuck there for life.
Well, he wanted like Paolo, but he wanted Houston. Like, he wanted to APJ, Jalen Green, and man, that Bukhari, what's up? Good morning.
Good morning, bro. Jaden Ivey. Oh my goodness. You saw how happy he was, man? Like, oh my goodness. He did not go to NBA purgatory, man. Like I understand, saying he got drafted to the NBA, but he showed a lot of emotions, you feel me?
I cried when I was dead ass crying that night.
Like, I feel bad for Keegan Murray, but hey man. I mean, personally,
first of all, I'm gonna give myself credit for that. I kept telling y'all Keegan Murray to the Kings. I've been saying it for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, he did. I know. But still, I did not expect that though. I thought they were gonna take Ivy.
No, I told you they weren't taking Ivy. But they didn't even work them out. They did. Ivy's representatives told them no.
Damn.
It was that simple.
Well, listen. The Pistons. What they've done in the past 2 weeks it's just been amazing. I've never seen this many moves from the Pistons in a long time, and they might actually, if they get Ayton, which I believe they're gonna get Ayton, but if they get Ayton,
it's in the bag.
It's like they're coming back to the playoffs. They're probably gonna be the next big thing in the NBA, and definitely in the East, but in the NBA landscape as well. Because if they get Ayton, along with they got 3 draft picks, I'm guessing, right? They got 3 picks this draft, and they bought out Kemba Walker's contract, so I don't have to worry about that. The aging person, so I don't like Kemba Walker. He ruined my Celtics, but.
Yeah, but you just said a 23-win team from this past season is going to improve by more than 20 wins.
I said they're at the probably in the play-in region. You feel me? Maybe
that's 20+ wins.
I believe that can happen. It's Jaden Ivey, man. I believe it can happen. I have high hopes for Jaden Ivey. Wow. I have high hopes for that Purdue man. I have high hopes, man.
Because we're on YouTube, I can't go to where I want to go and play the song High Hopes. So I hope that now that you heard me say that, the song is playing in your ear. I got
yeah, man. Or you can play Can We Get Much Higher? You feel me? That one song? By Kanye or something like that. I remember. That's
man, you know what? I am old because when you started saying that, I was thinking you want the Ghostbusters song?
No.
Man, I'm old.
That's not that long ago,
Michael.
Right?
That's an all-time great movie. That's
Ghostbusters. You weren't even alive when it was made.
Dark Fantasy?
No, I'm talking.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, Ghostbusters. I'm not alive. No.
Michael Andrade, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? Bukhari said everything I was gonna go ranting about the Pistons. So.
Exactly, man.
AC
Kings, bro. AC.
Let's break it down.
I'm not gonna call playoffs. But I think we're gonna see a lot of improvement. I think Cade might go to scoring 24 a game. I'm counting on getting Ayton as us being part of the improvement. And then maybe in 2 years from now, we can really see where this team will be at.
24 a game?
You clearly saw them take a leap at the second half of that last season.
Yeah, we all saw that, right? We saw
That was very real. We were all there. It happened. You can't deny that. And they're just gonna get better because the team is young. If they get 8, and there's no reason they can't make the playoffs. I mean, 20 wins is a lot, but you also got to remember, like, a lot of teams might experience some falls from grace, right? The East is as challenging as it's ever been, and one injury, Charlotte takes a back pedal. Anything, any of these teams, this could happen to.
Oh, well, everybody's going to pick Charlotte to backpedal after the bye.
That is true. They're
already talking about it. Gosh, you know what's happening next? Like the moment this Kyrie thing is over, you know what happens next? It's LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo gets thrown into the spotlight. There's a couple other players too, but once this Kyrie stuff ends, I think the spotlight immediately shifts to basically the Kyrie stuff just took over, like us just talking about what Charlotte was going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we haven't even really talked about that in Hoop Spaces about Kenny Atkinson.
Well, the only thing that I mentioned is that he didn't take the job because they wouldn't give him the money to fill out his coaching staff the way he wanted to. Like it's not cheap to round out a real good coaching staff. Like it's not. And I think they were wanting to give him only like $5.1 to $5.5 million. And like most great, what we consider great lead assistants,
it gets you a Jock Vaughn.
Yeah, right. Well,
you get all the Jock Vaughn he wants.
Yeah, you don't put that evil on me. This Detroit, I get it, but like,
I want to believe. I'm a Cade Cunningham guy. You know me. I'm an Oklahoma State guy. So anytime an Oklahoma State guy succeeds, I'm wildly overly optimistic about it. But it is so clear that he took a leap the second half of that year, and
crystal clear.
All right.
My question is this:
What?
Is Hamidou Diallo happy there?
No.
That's the question. Yeah, that's the thing.
But this is the real question.
Nor do I care.
Is Hamidou Diallo ever going to get a corner three?
But he can dunk, so it doesn't matter.
No, it matters. I've been look. I've seen Hamidou like for 4 years, just because where I live, and it's been the same damn question. When is he going to get a reliable 35% 3-point shot? Because if he did, he would give you 18, 6, and 4 with 2 steals and 31 minutes per game.
And he's shutting down your best guy.
We got JFK, but before we get to JFK, I want to get Emily's thoughts on Detroit, if she's here.
You said the trade or Detroit?
Detroit.
Oh, yeah, I was like, I don't know anything about Detroit right now. I don't know who you're talking to. Wait, I got a literal phone call until a second ago. Which trade are we talking about? The Kemba trade?
Yeah, the Kemba trade, and most people are Detroit, is in the vying to quote win the draft.
No. I feel like the Kemba trade was like very harmless. I feel like he wasn't like a key player to the Knicks. I really expected something way bigger. I felt like they needed more significant reform for their team. I don't know. It was so harmless. I feel like it didn't help. It didn't hurt. You know what I mean?
Emily, do you think the Knicks could have possibly won the draft without taking a single player?
I don't think the Knicks won the draft. I don't know who said that.
Well, I don't think they won the draft, but they did a damn good job.
Why? Why do you think they did such a good job?
They were able to cut cap and get capital for next draft, which is considered a deeper draft. So even if they don't take the picks and have the players, they'd be able to finagle and use it for future trades. So to me, this is Leon Rose saying he knows the market for Julius Randle isn't great. So they're just going to ride or die for one more year, and then he's gone.
Yeah, I expected something to happen with Randall. I thought they would trade Mitch. I thought Quickly would be gone. I thought a lot of stuff would happen. But hey, who knows? They have some time.
Lakers get back in the draft, and they draft Max Christie, which arguably was the perfect player for them to draft, because when you think about somebody that you might want to punch when you're playing, Max Christie is your guy at Michigan State. Būrgh is up here, JFK's up here, Pod Thorn is up here. I just want to throw that out there because once the Lakers got the 35th pick for a future second in cash, like this app exploded with Lakers fans celebrating like they won the championship. Like how the mighty have fallen. In fact, if you're a Lakers fan down below, you might as well go ahead and come on up here to explain this mess, because like we all collectively are laughing at you. Like, I'm sorry, it's just the truth. JFK, man, what's up? Good morning. Congratulations on getting the best international prospect, not named Zhang or Diang, however you want to pronounce it, and Nikola Jovic. How happy are you not?
I'm very ecstatic, Chris. I got a lot of notes that I took down, so it'll probably take me like a minute or two. So I'm gonna try to go through it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Just go.
First things first, Patrick Baldwin Jr. If you know, you know. I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. They need a replacement for a certain person that wears the number 23 jersey. Patrick Baldwin Jr. Next one, shouts out to Charlie Moore. Got picked up to the Detroit Pistons on the summer league team. So former UM guy, shouts out to him. And this morning I woke up pretty cool, but I went on Twitter and I saw Chris Broussard talking out of the side of his mouth. Made me want to wake up to violence now. I mean, there's no reason why you need to keep the Heat's name in your mouth. Like, LeBron's not here. Like, leave us alone. I'm tired of him, and I'm tired of Brian Windhorst. Probably the two worst guys I can watch on TV. Jesus. And if you don't know, he wanted to trade Jimmy and Bam for Kyrie and Ben Simmons. Like, who would do it? Not even 2K would accept that trade if you had, like, unlimited trade, whatever it is, though. Like, that is horrible. All right. So going into the 27th pick, the Heat pick, Nikola Jovic. So I got a nickname for him. Maybe it might stick. Jovicious.
I have a nickname for him. It's Jokic.
Nah,
why are their names so similar? His name's Nikola Jokic, right?
Jovic.
No, I'm saying there is a Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, that's the guy.
And now he's Nikola Jovic?
Yes, Jovicious. So we
call him your bitch.
Oh, man.
I think Emily beat you on that one. Wow.
You can give her a point for that. God damn, I had no comeback for that.
Yeah. And here's your bankrupt.
It's all good. I'll get my points back, man. We still got a long day. But look, 6'11" in shoes. I like it. This is a stretch 4 I was asking for. Man, I was talking crazy when I was talking Kuzma. I was like, Jesus. Now, I was looking at 6'9" now, and I'm begging. You know what, Chris? I've been on here begging for a stretch 4, and I got me a stretch 4. If you watch his highlight tape, the man has handles for days. He's about 6'11", 225. Shouts out to Goran Dragic for creating that Serbian pipeline, because the Serbians have now taken over Sunny Isles, Florida. If you know where that is, that's on the beach. There's a nice little spot. There. Exactly. So it's a nice little spot for the little Serbians. Nicola's going to be nice where he's at right there. It's basically, and it's going to be a far stretch into another galaxy, but it's Dirk with handles. That's what we're about to get. With the development, I think.
Whoa.
I said a far stretch beyond this galaxy, so you got to let me ride with that. Golly, Chris. Let me have my high hopes. All right. But yeah, Goran, he might as well retire and become our recruiter, because Chris just said it's the best international player on the board. And I'm glad we picked him up. I was kind of getting nervous after Jake got picked up by Memphis. And I was like, damn, there goes my stretch. But here comes Pat Riley with a sleeper pick. So I'm glad we got that.
Do you hear that Hero wants out?
Who?
Hero?
He's out? What you mean?
I heard he wants out of Miami.
Oh, no, that's not true. Why would he want that?
That's what I've been hearing.
Where does he want to go? Milwaukee?
Oh, I don't even know, honestly.
No Milwaukee fan. Isn't he from Milwaukee? Like
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
still, like that's the only place I see him going. He's probably not going to go there.
No, I don't think
he should come to Boston. We'll give him Derek White.
All right, hold on. Y'all getting crazy with this hero talk. We talking about
like we are had it bad enough with Broussard, Bukhari. We don't need any more bad Miami. Right?
Yeah,
like Quid is already pissed off enough, man.
Yeah, that's enough for the whole off season for bad Miami Heat takes. Just what Chris Broussard said, so we all can like chill off on that. But yeah, he's a 40% shooter. He's not a high volume shooter, but he is very accurate. He shoots a lot of threes, but is very accurate with the threes. He's young, but he needs to start learning how to play in his physique, and I think the Heat are going to be able to do that. He's a perfect role player right next to Bam Adebayo, and able to create spacing. As well as laying Bankai in his bag. He shoots about 3 to 5 field goals and 5 to 7 threes a game. 40% shooter, like I said, all around. He's good size with a 7-foot wingspan. He's really, really good off the pick and roll. If you see him, he knows how to create dribbles. He knows how to create separation. And he can definitely put the shot up. Last thing I got for him is the last thing is he needs work on defense. He's not a really good ISO player, and he's also not a quick shooter. But I think because of his range, he's going to be able to get off shots, and I think because of his size, he's going to be able to become a good defender. I mean, right now his on the ball is questionable, but his off ball is respectable. So for the 27th pick, we haven't. I don't even think Miami Heat has ever drafted an international player like that. So shouts out to Miami. We're looking around the world, and that's what I want to see. Appreciate it, Chris.
All right. Come in anytime when you're ready to understand he's not 6'11", 225. He's like,
Chris, I'm making it sound good.
He's like 6'10" in shoes, and he's like 200 even.
Hold on. They said 6'10" without shoes, 6'11" with shoes.
Yeah, well. 6'10" 3/4 with shoes, bro, is still 6'10".
Hey, it is better than the 6'9" Kuzma. That's all I gotta say.
Like this, real quick, nerd time. This is like gas prices, right? Like the NBA treats players as a commodity, at like gas prices and height. Like you see like 429, and then you see the 9/10. It's because like they don't want you to see the next dollar amount up. So like that's what the NBA does with height. They don't want you to see like the actual height because like then you find out that Robert Williams isn't 7 foot. You find out that Robert Williams is 6'8" 3/4, 6'9.5" with a fro. Like,
I mean, they said he had a growth spurt in his late teens, so I think there's still room to grow. But for right now, he's a really great physique for a 19-year-old, even compared to Chet. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if he ends up not being 6'10" like Peja Stojakovic. They said.
I love going to like games, and if I have the opportunity pre-game to like go courtside to see how many people lie about their height. It's so entertaining.
It's more than you think. Pod Thorn is with us, and so is Būrgh. We got those two next. 808s and Ty are also here. I want to thank everybody for popping in and ask that you do us a favor. The very first tweet is the show card. Please like and retweet. You're here, you're listening, you're getting some entertainment out of it, because if you weren't, you would leave. So help us out because as we build this to try to get more visibility, not just for what we're doing, but like spaces in general as something more than an off-topic conversation. Like, we want the league to take all of us seriously, because right now the league isn't. And it's not anything other than that there isn't a construct here for them to actually take seriously yet. So please like and retweet.
Chris, don't worry. Their burners are in here, I promise you.
Oh, no, I know. No,
exactly, like, spit. I'm one of them.
I absolutely know. Like, I have gotten into one of them. Like, just give me some credit. Like, write a freaking paragraph of 3 sentences at the very bottom and just use hoop spaces once, please. And they said no. What's up, Pod? How you doing?
Yo, I'm chilling. What a great night last night. Seeing all those new millionaires and their moms crying and everything else. Great night. But, you know, my team didn't have much action going on. We didn't trade the whole team last night. That would be the Brooklyn Nets.
Anybody else having problems hearing Pod?
Yeah.
All right,
Brooklyn. It's that Brooklyn shit, man. It's crazy.
Pod, man, we can't hear you.
True.
All right, we'll get Pod back. Būrgh, what's up, man?
Man, good morning, man. Good morning. What's up, Mike? Fellow Michigan guy here. I'm just overall excited about the Pistons' future. I felt like we got exactly everything that I thought we would. Only thing I had confusion on was pick 5. I wasn't sure if Sacramento was going to get that smart on us. So kind of glad that we got the guys we got. As far as fit, I think my favorite pick of the draft for the Pistons was Jalen Duren. There was news out that Troy Weaver and a couple of assistant guys really liked his workout. They really liked the type of person that he was. And once I seen that, I was like, yeah, they're going to pick my guy. But last year we had an issue in the paint, having a undersized 5 in Isaiah Stewart. There was a lot of guys in the league was just bullying Stewart. He will play hard against these big guys, but it wasn't enough. And I think getting Jalen Duren solidifies us at the 5 position. If he's coming off the bench, if we get DeAndre Ayton, cool. If we miss out on DeAndre Ayton and he's starting, I'm still cool with that. He got a lot of room to work. He's 18 years old, turns 19 in November. Pretty raw, uber athlete. I think the biggest thing a lot of the fans were talking about last night is the summer league. Being able to showcase Ivy and Duran with themselves. So that's a big thing that we're looking forward to. But just overall, I thought a lot of things were going to happen that didn't happen. The Gordon Hayward thing was hung over our head hours before the draft. We were thinking that if we were taking Gordon Hayward's contract, it takes half of the cap space that we saved up for 2 max slots. We're going to just hold on to Gordon next year, let Gordon walk, and get back to free agency for next year. But unfortunately, we didn't have to do that much in order to get Jalen Duren at 13. We gave up the pick that we got Jeremy Grant for last night. That was beautiful. It was just a masterclass by Troy Weaver. I'm really, really happy that the city got a smart guys in the locker room, and I mean front office, because for years, shout out to Joe Dumars, man, brought us 3 championships. But after that, he just did not know how to hit the full reset button. He had no idea what he was doing. And Stan Van Gundy did the same as well. He just was putting stuff together to try to make playoff pushes. It was just embarrassing. So to finally have a GM in there that's competent, that knows the league, knows how to scout. These 3 years have been great, man. The disrespect from Killian Hayes is going to stop next year. And Cade Cunningham, as Mike said earlier, if Cade Cunningham was getting his foul calls, to those who were actually watching Pistons basketball, if Cade Cunningham was getting those foul calls, you're talking about a kid who was averaging almost 21, 22 points a game if he was getting his foul calls. So there will be a significant up usage or upscale us in scoring for Cade Cunningham coming next year. More pieces to use. Just the second year coming in is going to be way, way more easier for him. So I think this was all around good draft. I believe we got the GP from Italy, I like to call him, as well, with the pick we got from Portland, moving up from 46 to 36. He's a stash guy. We got another stash guy in Balza Kopriva. So I just liked it. I really, really like what we did. Before I get out of here, I just want to let the Lakers fans know I have no idea what y'all are doing. Grabbing ex-NBA players' sons. It's just, you got Max Christie, Sharif O'Neal, Scottie Pippen Jr. Like, I have no idea what the Lakers are doing right now, but
you know exactly what they did. Shaq put in the
It's called nepotism. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
called me.
It's called ticket sales.
Facts.
Of the gate of all their, like it's ticket sales. You don't think they're gonna go check? Like, where's their G League at again? Like I can't pronounce the damn city. Somebody.
What is they? South Bay Lakers.
Is it South Bay? I thought it was something that started with like an L. I guess it is.
I think it's. Yeah, I think it's South Bay. I think they
El
might be
Camino.
South Bay Lake.
Yeah. So they'll throw them all on the South Bay Lakers, and they'll play with Mac McClung.
Jesus Christ. Thanks for having me up, Chris. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, Būrgh. That would be a dope G League team to watch.
Yo, Būrgh. Oh, he left?
No, I'm still up here. What's up, Bukhari?
All I'm saying is once Marvin Bagley gets re-signed, you know what I'm saying, Pistons 2023 champions. Crazy.
Oh.
Can't wait.
I wouldn't go that far. I just believe,
hey, dude, you need to chill. This is nasty.
I just believe.
I love Marvin Bagley, man. I don't know. I love Marvin Bagley.
Here goes the thing with Marvin Bagley, though. Because we got Marvin Bagley the second half of the season, he was not supposed to start, I think, over 18 to 20 games. And so his qualifying offer would be a little bit lower than $14 million, what he was asking. So whatever we go after with DeAndre Ayton, we can still pay Marvin Bagley. Now the fan base doesn't want Bagley to start because they think he has defensive insufficiency. So I would like him to start if we get DeAndre Ayton. Because you know what I'm saying, you got two big guys. You got to think about the conference. You got to think about the division that we're in. We're going against 2 7-footers in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying, 4 times a year. The Chicago's going to get better. Indiana's going to get better.
Oh, and is Milwaukee in the same conference as y'all or not?
Yeah.
In the same division thing?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
It's a central, yeah.
That's tough.
They go and shoot threes. I don't know why people just don't y'all don't see that. Like, it's been the same. Like, he has not changed since Duke. He goes left and he doesn't shoot threes. So like,
hey, the sky's the limit for him, man. I still believe in him, man.
That's a great.
Very short guy.
Speaking of the sky, they played.
Speaking of the sky,
808s, get in here and let's talk.
Listen, man. Can't really talk much. It's 12-5. You know, best team in the league. I mean, we beat the Sparks last night, 82-59. I mean, Candace had a third triple-double of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Led the team in plus minus. Shot 4 for 14, still had a triple-double. Yo, go can't do that. Courtney Vandersloot, we have to talk about that real soon, man. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 for 8. But Azurá Stevens, she's really been killing it lately. She had 15 points last night. It was 5-11 for the field. Over her last 5, I believe she's averaging like 13.5, 47, 55. She only takes averages like 1 free throw a game, but that's 100%. So she's really been killing it lately. But as far as the rest of the league, the Minnesota Lynx, shocker, they beat the Phoenix Mercury last night, 100-88. Tina Charles is looking like the Tina Charles of old, former 26 points, 9 for 15. Skylar Jenkins Smith, 14 points, 5 for 12. Indiana, it was a good game for a while, but until it wasn't. They lost to the Wings last night, 94-68. I think Enrique had 25 points. I don't know why Destiny only had 9 minutes. I feel like we've been talking about this all season, how they just don't play her. And, I mean, Kelsey was phenomenal. 22 points, 8 for 13, I think, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. But you draft all these rookies, and you just choose when to play them and when not to. Like, that's why they are where they are. The Seattle Storm, they're 11-6. Out of nowhere. I feel like yesterday they were just like 5-5, right? They beat the Mystics last night. Linda Deladon had her, I think it was her third 20-point game of the season. Shot 7 for 17. Alicia Clark, 11 points, 5 for 9 from the field. It's a pretty good game. But I feel like the Storm are making a push, man. They had 3 20-point game scores, I believe. I think Brianna had 19 or 20. Joel Lloyd had 22. Sue Bird had 12. That was pretty much it that I watched last night besides the Sky game. I didn't watch it because it came out at 9:30. And
we're really not going to talk about the dissection of the New York Liberty, of the Connecticut Sun. every time the Connecticut Sun fought back, we just extended it to a 10-point lead. I want to hear good things about my Liberty, and I want to hear it now, Chris.
Wait, it's not my fault you weren't here when we talked about it.
I was about to say, wasn't that like yesterday?
That's not my fault. Like, go listen to the replay on YouTube, powered by audiolabs.io.
Seafoam season.
Exactly.
I'll tell you one thing. We can't keep making jokes about the Liberty. They're not
You want to bet?
bad anymore.
We're not a joke anymore.
They're
Getting
not
healthier.
a joke anymore.
I can make these jokes all day.
These jokes and jokes and jokes.
Listen, everybody tells me stop making jokes about the Mystics. They're not the Utah Jazz of the WNBA, but they are. I mean, I just don't get it.
So mean.
Like, either EDD
I
is on
won't be
scheduled
taking
rest.
Liberty slander. I just won't.
None.
I don't get it. I mean, in a game where Sabrina Ionescu goes 3 for 16, you have to win that basketball game, and you don't. Like, you wasted 27 points from Natasha Howard. I think she shot like 14 or 13 for 17, 9 rebounds. Like, she's been balling lately.
You got the wrong team comparison. Like, the Mystics are the Sixers.
Oh, we're not going to do that. We're not. No. Respect.
By the way, if you look up top, I tagged you in this tweet. Like, Real New Money. That's Edward. He asked, "Who's gonna win last night for the W?" What did your boy do? He went 4-0. Yeah.
Hey, listen, man. That was a pretty good call.
Mic drop.
Yep.
Hey, did anybody see Enrique kick any water bottles last night? I'm just checking.
No, not see that.
He hates water. He only likes Propel.
Dany D's up here. Pickup card games up here. Ty and Papi Chulo are up here. We're taking a quick break from the NBA because we had a natural segue for W talk. So we're going to get pickup card game and Dany in here. Also, by the way, I am 11-1 when picking just a winner in the W when I've been asked so far. That is insane. I've never done that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I've never done that well because I am not.
That's really good in a league where literally anybody can win any given night.
I don't expect it to continue.
I start betting.
No. I am a horrible sports.
Once he starts betting, Chris has got bad juju. I can tell. He's like, once he starts betting, it all goes out the window.
No, it's okay. If you want to win, do the opposite of what I'm betting on, and you'll win.
Well, I don't believe that. There's no way
you're gonna squander all that bar mitzvah money. That bar mitzvah money's gonna squandered real quick.
Pickup card game will go to you next. And ladies and gentlemen, as you listen, if you're free, head over to your Google machine, right? Whether it's a computer, tablet, or phone, open up your browser and go to Google and search pickup slam goods. And boom, like you click the very top link and wouldn't you know it, you end up at a marketplace over at slamgoods.com where you can pick up your copy of the pickup card game. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, good people of Whose Spaces. Happy Friday. I'm a bit shocked right now. I just saw the news about Roe v. Wade being overturned. So excuse if I'm a bit flustered right now. This is sad. Anyways.
We don't get to go.
You ain't the only one, brother.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like sitting here
the Miranda.
Yeah, we're all pissed off.
Miranda change is the story that got buried by Roe. Like we haven't even gotten to that. Anyway, we're not here for that forum.
Yeah, I understand, and I mean
it's talk offline though.
It's tough, man. Because I feel like we come so far sometimes as a society. 50 years of Title IX, and this happens, but. WNBA talk. Let's do that. Let's talk about that and uplift the women who play the game. I didn't watch the games last night. I was in a flight to LA, and actually was watching the draft on the flight. So I'm looking at box scores right now. Just one thing which I need to make a point of. We haven't talked about her much on the show. Ezi Magbagor, who plays with Seattle, who's Australian. She was involved in that whole Liz Cambage thing last summer, but she's, really having a great season. I think she has had a block every game but one game this season. I think she's come a long way for the Seattle team. And we talked about Seattle and how they had a slow start. But last night, they beat a team in Washington who had their full squad out there. They had EDD playing. They had Natasha Cloud playing. They had a full squad playing, yet the Storm beat them. So shouts to Ezzy and shouts to Seattle. That's all I got, Chris. Like I said, I'm pretty down right now after last night's draft. We talked about the unicorn. We talked about the unicorn, Chris. We talked about the guy from the Australian League who was French. His name.
Yes.
Who's
named Yang.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. And it hurts because I felt like it could have been a nice way kind of for Knicks to stash a guy for once, to give a guy a chance to kind of develop in the G League and then bring him up when he's ready. But Leon Rose is not on my schedule. So I'm just going to let things happen, right? As a Knicks fan, I learned that you can't overreact to drafts. Just have to keep your own mental health in peace and just let things happen. But it sucked to have a guy who we called out yesterday as being a potential like dark horse sleeper get picked by my team and from that point get drafted. It's tough, man. So I'll yield my time, Chris. And shout to everyone, Papi, 808, who got pickup card game the past week. Danny, I'm happy you guys got the game. Congrats on winning trivia. We'll definitely keep on spreading the love. And like I said, play pickup light first. The quick game will help you for sure understand how to play the full game. And once you play the full game and get it one time, you will love pickup for the rest of your life. Thanks, Chris.
We are here to actually also give a brief moment of respite to every New York Knicks fan. If you need to come up and vent, like, we're here for you. We're here for every fan base. Like, that's what makes this place a little bit different if you haven't noticed. But, like, the brethren of the Knickerbockers from New York they're down bad this morning a little bit. Like, there's a whole contingent of people who just want to see a competent franchise develop young players to play. And it's hard because they got to watch Golden State do it. They got to watch San Antonio do it.
Memphis.
Boston. And now, ladies and gentlemen, those vaunted Knickerbockers of New York are going to be leapfrogged by the Pistons of Detroit. Hate to see it.
The pain, Chris, the pain.
So if you are a Knicks fan or if you know Knicks fans, like, it's okay to just reach out and say, I'm never going to get it. My team ain't that bad, but I care about you. Up next, we're going to go to Dany D, who's going to get some W talk and get her thoughts on the draft. Then we'll head to Ty and Papi Chulo, part of the 77 Spaces crew with Rolo and Jazz, a.k.a. Scammer Sultan. Thank you, everybody, for popping in. You could be anywhere, but you're here. Shout-outs down below. Miss K of the B&B crew, Henry O of Heat's Twitter, and the pool party. Saint from Nets Kingdom. I was up on Nets Kingdom last night. Had a great time. You should check that out over at YouTube. Ashley Baker of A&B Sports. And the Batman burner account is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. That is Connor. And look, if you like video games, and let's be honest, probably 90% of you do. Like, even women love video games, and they actually play better than most men. Like, I've actually looked at this, not in terms of watching them play, but the actual data behind it. Business Insider had a great breakdown of it. And it's phenomenal that the top earners are starting to be more and more women. But if you do like games, that dude is locked in and is a phenomenal content creator. So shoot him a follow. I want to give a big shout out to all of those Knicks fans that are sad, man. Like, it's real out here on these streets. Dany, good morning. It's good to see you. How you doing?
Oh, good morning. I'm well. I didn't really watch too many games last night. I did turn to the Chicago and Dallas game last night. But I saw not the Dallas and Chicago. One thing, Chicago, LA. Lord, I'm just really waking up. And that was an interesting game. I figure they were going to beat the not Lakers, sparks. Shit. Damn, I really ain't awake. This whole thing just got me all off. And my dog's trying to kill herself eating rocks. I had to give her a treat. Anyway, um, uh, Lord, that I knew the Sky was gonna beat the little Sparks. This was dysfunctional. I'm glad Sylvia played. I'm glad to see her back. She deserves all the flowers she's gonna get. Um, I didn't watch the NBA draft last night. I saw This Is Us because I saw tears and crying. And every time I watch This Is Us, I cry. And I spent most of the night here crying and drinking wine, watching these young men be so emotional. The Ivy one took me out. Welcome to Detroit. Detroit fans, I'm happy for Detroit. Thank you, Knicks. I like watching the Knickerbockers demise in real time. Enjoy watching Stephen A. have aneurysm. Uh, when they call that international play and they both look like, who the fuck is this? I just laughed and laughed. I think I should have watched the verses last night. Well, damn, I didn't know I was entitled for a show. Take your little ass outside and do that barking, ma'am. Anyway, so it was an experience last night. I really enjoyed myself. I had 2 glasses of wine. Boy, that menage a trois wine, boy, it knocked you out. I was sitting here, didn't even know I fell asleep. Anyway, that's all I got right now, Chris. I'm all over the place right now.
Hey, Danny.
Elections matter. Y'all better start voting. These people are going to be dead in 10, 15 years, and the rest of us will still be here. Y'all better start paying attention as much as y'all pay attention to people's stats. I'm just saying. That's all I mean, hey, I'm going to land a play for right now. I ain't going to get depressing, but y'all better start voting, pay attention, let people make decisions. You think y'all safe. Y'all love y'all gay marriage. They coming for that net. They want to be able to love who you want. They coming for loving. Y'all want to marry black, white, anybody you want to marry a different race. They coming for that next. Keep on playing. They were fine with you carrying concealed weapons yesterday. Talking about not protecting the Constitution. I see you. Okay. That's all I got for you, Chris. I ain't gonna take over.
I've never seen
I'm
that.
gonna get off my soapbox, y'all.
Hey, Chris, I got a question for Danny and Pickup.
Yeah.
So I proffered this question on the Hoopsters last night. Shout out to them. Do the Connecticut still need to blow it up? And this is a very serious question. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to see cash. I'm not laughing. I'm serious. Like, Jonquel Jones is not looking like Jonquel Jones. Like, I don't want to look at the
Probably
numbers.
tired. She played overseas, right?
You said what?
Did she play overseas?
I don't recall. But like over the last 5 or 6 games, she's shooting 45% from the field and 26% from 3. And like those threes have been nasty, like pretty bad. Like 2 for 7 against the Liberty. I think she went like I don't even remember. I think it was 0 for 3 against the Mystics. But like if you look at the way she's shooting the ball, she's just standing at the 3-point line. Like the paint is clogged. I don't know why they playing AT at the 1 as much as they do. Like, what do you think they need to do?
They need to break. Okay, I don't want to say break it up, but they need to take some toxicity off that team. They don't seem happy on that team. They every time I look, everybody complaining. I thought Tawana Bonner would bring balance to them, but I don't see the balance. They are the I gave you that. I don't see balance anymore. Before I used to fear them, but now they're just like a joke. They're like the New York Knicks of 1990s. You got all these great tools, but you don't know how to properly use them. You might need to get rid of some people. You might need to blow them up a little. You might make her your foundation. But her and what's that other girl name? Light skinned girl named the big girl who always helps her. No, the other one, the big light skinned girl, the one that the rebounder. No,
Alyssa Thomas.
I can't stand her mean ass. She needs some love. And to get that shoulder fixed while she at it. No, what's the other girl name? The tall light skinned girl with the black hair. What's her name? Well, the
Is it
other.
blonde?
I guess she's the center, and
Man, like y'all gonna go through the whole roster, and Danny gonna keep saying the other one.
I'm like, what y'all? I mean, like 4 people.
I
Like,
might got her name wrong.
There's
oh,
only
Brianna
12
Yeah, there
people
Jones.
you
on
go.
the
There you go.
roster.
You
Yeah,
talking about
Brianna
Brianna Jones, right?
Thank you. I'm sorry. I told you
Yeah.
I'm trying to sober up this morning. Anyway, yeah,
I wasn't even looking at the
I'm
roster.
fine with her and Jaquel Jones playing together. That's cool. It's just about everybody else. I don't know if there's a better point guard out there to organize stuff. Well, they've been really off since what's her name got hurt. She always
Yeah, when Jasmine
Jasmine
Thomas
Thomas
tore
tore
ACL.
ACL, and her wife,
Yeah.
her fiance, who likes to go out there and fight people down there in Atlanta. I'm sorry.
Look, we ain't touching that. We're not touching that.
Let's land this plane so
Okay,
we
we're
can
gonna
move
land this
on before
plane,
we.
but and then I'm concerned about the Mystics. I agree with you, Chris. You said it yesterday. You don't know who's gonna play. So I don't know if DP gonna play one day and not DP. What's her name? Elena
Elena.
Deladon. There you go.
Deladon.
You don't know
Yeah.
Deladon gonna play one day, the next day. That doesn't create great fluidity for that team. And I'm about 2 seconds for saying they need to be broken up a little bit. Stop. And all this kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting, but I don't know that they need to be broken up, but they need some new light. They need some new energy, some positive energy, like a dark cloud hanging on their heads. I don't know. I don't know. The Indian ancestors have come back and claimed their soul. I have no clue, but something needs to be done. They need some sage in that locker room. I don't know. Maybe they need Mario to come sing to them, and
Da-
I'm gonna let him play.
Danny, brought to you by Menage a Trois red wine, ladies and gentlemen. Find a bottle near you and drink water. Up next, Papi
Lopez.
Chulo. He's going to come up, talk some NBA draft, some Mav space stuff that he's got going on, and then we'll go to Ty.
Hey, what's up, Chris? Good morning, everybody on Who's Faces. Sad day in America. I mean, pretty much almost every day, if I'm being honest. But I would like to say I'm gonna be on my like kind of domo shoe, but for the Mavericks. So, good morning, Dirk Nowitzki. God bless Dirk Nowitzki. God bless Nico Harrison. God bless Luca motherfucking Doncic who plays tomorrow. God bless Jason Kidd. And I'll leave it at that. But last night, I think we got a hell of a steal for the 37th pick in Jaden Hardy. And I think he'll be a great player, 19 years old, average about 19 points in the G League. I'm very excited to see what this man can do. I think, am I wrong to say this, Chris? Do you see him as a THJ replacement?
I wouldn't say he's a THJ replacement. THJ, when healthy, also has a pretty decent secondary facilitation game. Hardy's a straight gunner. He's Trey Burke but bigger.
Right, and I just wanted to I wanted to ask because like they're very bullish on him. They had him 19th on their draft board, and I just don't think that you draft this guy and not give him minutes. So
Oh,
that's why I asked.
he'll get minutes. He can shoot. Like that's a given. The issue wasn't shooting. The issue was the secondary aspect to his game that he kind of needs to round out. Like at 6'4", 6'5", 200, he'll be able to play like both guard spots, which is going to be a perfect fit next to Luca. But yeah, it wasn't. That's what they got him for. They want shooters around Luca, and he's got good instinctual defense if you watch him in the G League. But I also think that might be because as a guard, he was also kind of like already developed physically, so he was already able to kind of body some of the bigger players already in the G League. Coming out of Henderson, Nevada, he also has a couple of good pro trainers too. So I think he's a great pick. the question that I have again is his secondary aspects. Like, is he going to be able to give you the 3.5 assists that THJ gives you? Is he going to be able to guard, maybe a 3 as well, as opposed to just a 1 and a 2?
Right, and I like his wingspan. 6'9" wingspan to really help him as well. So I just think that with the depth we have right now and what we're trying to do in Dallas, I just don't see him not getting minutes. So that's why I was just like, I think this is a replacement for THJ, and I think Josh Green is still here in Dallas, so I'm not sure where they go with him either, because you still need to develop Josh Green to be a solid 3-and-D wing. But overall, I like what Dallas is doing. Christian Wood, big pickup as well. That trade is now official, and we got the summer league coming up, so I'm very excited for all Dallas Mavericks content. Tonight we'll be hosting a space for 77 Spaces. Tune in at 7 p.m. Central Time, and that's pretty much. Oh, I would also like to say Detroit. I like what they did. I think they got a hell of a deal. I think what their team is going to be in a year or two from now will be very exciting to watch. Is OKC actually going to compete, or they're still going to play this game of let's just tank the
They're
season?
playing that window. They're playing that window. They got exactly the guy they wanted to get.
They are playing to ensure that they have a 10 to 15 year run of consistent competition. This is like people who think that they're not competing. They're competing. They're just competing on a different type of timeline.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for the clarification, because I like what they got. It's just like I want to see them actually be able to put it together and compete in this league, because it makes no sense to get first round every year and not do nothing with them, for the long run. But I don't know what the Knicks are doing. Like, yeah, they freed up $18 million in cap space, and they would still have to give up more depth to free up more cap space to try to swing for Kyrie or Jalen Brunson, and I just don't see it happening.
They're really gonna go after Jalen Brunson, but they also have the ability to move Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, and Noel, and have enough cap to sign Kyrie Irving outright as well. So, like, what?
Oh God, Chris, this is horrible. I'm sorry, Chris. Keep going.
So, like, that's what they're trying to do, right? Is they're trying to clear cap that, and people are trying to also figure out about, again, these first round picks they picked in this OKC trade. Like, that's, if you look how the protections are and you look at what the qualitative depth of the draft is, what scouts are saying, that they are trying to set themselves up where they can then go to Jalen Brunson and say, not only can we pay you, right, like, even if Dallas doesn't want to give you up, you should still come here, because not only are you going to be the guy next to RJ, here's how we're going to be able to build around you. And then they bring him aboard. And this is really where the buy is, right? We want your input. And so now you're going to have Jalen Brunson feeling as though he's got a say in how they direct their future acquisitions. That's going to be what New York's pitch to Jalen Brunson is.
But why would Brunson leave Luka? Like, that's the thing which through this all I'm confused by. Like,
maybe he wants to.
No, I mean he's a team player. I mean, Jalen Brunson is a team player. He wants to win basketball games.
You can be a team player and still want your chance at being the dude
on the Knicks and win basketball games.
Can we have a solid actual discussion about what Jalen Brunson is and what he isn't? Because I've heard I've heard people say he could be the second best player on a championship team, and if all my clothes flew off like I was Charlie Brown trying to kick a football. Like, this, it's nonsense. Like, we need to have a serious dialogue about what this guy is actually and what he is not. And, there's no guarantee to me that Jalen Brunson, that the Mavericks even want to keep him and pay him all that money. I think they want to keep him for the right price, but not for the price that I think that he thinks he can get right now.
From all the reporting from Mark Cuban on the exit of the Western Conference Finals, they said they're willing to pay him, that they're gonna offer him more money than anybody else can. Jalen Brunson went on the Duncan Robinson podcast and kind of briefly stated that, we have a winning situation here. He was kind of vague on it because, uh, he can't outright say, yeah, I'm going back to Dallas, but that he wants to be here. And again, the winning person, he wants to be on a winning team. He wants to be on a winning situation. Now, I can see the aspect of he wants to be the guy and he wants to win, but I just don't really see it in the near future. Well, immediate, like next year, he's going to be winning with the Knicks. I just don't see it. Like now, if he has the patience for it, then by all means. But I don't see him leaving. And Nico even addressed it last night that they see what the Knicks are doing, but they have no reason to not feel like optimism that they're going to re-sign him back. And Jalen Brunson could be your second, maybe third best player on a given night. I don't see him being like a all-star, but I just see him being a guy that gives you 18 points per game.
Well, okay, so like the biggest issue is how do you quantify Jalen Brunson? And like he's always had this issue. So like there are players that for whatever reason people refuse to accept that they bring value outside of weighted metric, right? A weighted metric is the stats that you want to use, whether you're creating a formula yourself or using basic stats to grade a player's production value. And the issue is that there are players that exceed production value. Jalen Brunson is one of those players. So how do you quantify that type of value? And the interesting aspect of it is you can go back in the history of the league and you find players like Jalen Brunson who, like Robert Horry, exceed quantitative value. And when you look at it that way, all it takes in an open market is for another team to stake their own value on it to force the valuation of other player higher. So like if the Knicks really believe that Brunson is their guy, it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks because the Knicks are going to set that value, right? So all we have to actually talk about in regards to what Brunson is what is Brunson to the Knicks? And to the Knicks, and we should have a Knicks fan answer this, and if you're a Knicks fan, raise your hand so you can come up and follow me. As someone who's watched the Knicks and talks with Knicks fans, they want a leader, someone at the point guard position who has won, who understands the determination, the commitment, the time required to be put in to get yourself in a playing position to affect winning on a basketball team. And I think they are using this as their valuation, not necessarily the fact that, he still hasn't had more than 4 assists, or except for this season, or that he can't shoot 40% from 3 on volume. Like every year he's gotten better on certain aspects of his game. And then you still look at the underlying aspect of what he brought from Villanova, and that's winning. That's what the Knicks are paying for. If it is what they're true that they really want to bring him in here, if that makes sense.
I appreciate this conversation, Chris. I might have to have you on later on 77 Spaces if you have time to explain to some other Mavericks fans on about your insight of this situation. But yeah, later on tonight, 77 Spaces, if you're a Mavs fan or you just want to hear about Jalen Brunson and Jaden Hardy, please stop by. Appreciate your time, Chris.
Yeah, I appreciate you and everybody. If this is the time that you really want to hop into some of these team rooms, so you can start getting an idea of what other fans are thinking about their team and your team as it comes up in trades and all-season moves. Pick up card game.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, Chris. Last comment as a Knicks fan, so you know me. I don't like to talk too much Knicks, but you were spot on, right? Knicks fans want that point guard who's a leader, and that's why it's painful when a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, a USA Olympic team like that, a guy who coaches and scouts say is a born leader, a guy who's like a bigger point guard, is on the board and you pass him up. That's where, as a Knicks fan, I'm like, this doesn't make sense, right? And so, what you're saying, Chris, is spot on, but the front office has, for some reason, always gone against what they should be doing. And that's why I say, you know what, I just wash my hands of what goes on. And for me, the guys in the court, I root for them. But from a front office standpoint, it's just bonkers, man. Absolutely bonkers.
Another problem with the Knicks is because they were expecting someone to be picked during this draft. I mean, there's talent there, and all of a sudden they decided to conduct engineer deals that seem to not make sense. Other than that, when they added the Kemba piece to the Pistons because they needed the cap space to eventually make a run at Jalen Brunson. Uh, as you know, his dad is he was just hired as their assistant coach. So uh, I don't know if Dallas wants to pay 25 million per for Jalen. We'll see about that. And and there's the sense that hey, Jalen Burn, they wanted the big man. They got him. Then all of a sudden they trade him, and then all of a sudden they hear the reports that Leon Rose is not speaking to the media yesterday and today. So it infuriates people.
Leon Rose doesn't like talking to the media. Uh, Ty, thanks for your patience. Hop up in here. Let's get your thoughts in here before we move to Evan Townsend, so we can get some draft grades and recap by somebody who came up here with Matthew Mauer, the draft review, and led us in to a deep dive into the draft and tell everybody who was right, who was wrong. And we're going to end up talking about Paolo Banchero as well, because I had a completely different take than most people did, and we'll see what he thinks about it. Ty, go ahead.
G'day, Chris. How you doing?
I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday was Christmas. I got drunk with presents, and here we are.
Sounds like a great day, man. Hey, I need to get my ass to bed soon. It's currently 1. It's like 10 past 1 a.m. in the morning for me, so I'm tired as fuck. But it is a good day in New Orleans right now. We got my guy Dyson Daniels, the Australian, so I'm really happy about that. Number one, that is just an amazing pick. You know what I mean? Now all of New Orleans has to learn about Australia. It's just going to be great. But the bigger one is we got EJ Liddell in the second round. That was a nasty-ass pick for us. I can't even believe the fact. Look, I'm not really that much. I didn't know that much about the draft. And people were saying as soon as we took EJ Liddell, you're like, bro, you guys just got like potentially the steal of the draft. I was like, y'all gotta be kidding me. Twice? You're going to let the Pelicans twice, back-to-back times, where they're just going to come away and get amazing picks. Obviously, last year, we ended up getting Herb Jones, ended up getting Trey Murphy, and we ended up picking Jose Alvarado being undrafted. Now you give us Dyson Daniels is someone who we needed because we have all the scoring in the world. We have B.I., we have Zion. Now you give us the connector in Dyson, and you give us another perimeter defender in Liddell. I just think our future is really bright. Chris, how do you feel about the Pelicans taking Dyson at 8?
I thought it was a good pick because he doesn't need to come in and really contribute much the first year. And when you look at what New Orleans is doing, they're actually lining up for when C.J. McCollum is gone, and Zion is there, but Brandon Ingram probably takes over as the team leader. I like this idea. It's a plan of succession through players, and I like what David Griffin has done, and I don't like saying that because I don't like him.
No. I need I need y'all to give respect to David Griffin.
I did.
Because no, I'm saying everybody. We all need to, including me, we all need to give him his amount of respect because a couple of years ago he made some very questionable decisions. He ended up trading for Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams, then he ended up paying Steven Adams before he even played a game. We're all over here scratching our head saying we need to fire this guy with him, coming with pitchforks. Guess what he does then? He ends up flipping Eric Bledsoe. He ends up flipping Steven Adams. So pretty much Trey Murphy and Jonas Valanciunas. We let Lonzo walk. What are you doing? You can't let Lonzo leave. Devontae Gray made him. Guess what? We end up using the money which we didn't spend on Lonzo Ball because we had the cap space, and we end up getting CJ McCollum. David Griffin needs a lot more praise from the general media than what we are giving him. And hot take for next season before I finish up is the Pelicans are going to finish the top 5 seed next year. That's all, Chris. I appreciate you letting me speak.
Absolutely. I asked that, and there's some people who say that they are going to be in that 5 to 7 range if everybody stays healthy. The EJ pick, I think there are actually a couple others just because of where they went that they would have a better chance of, quote, being the steal of the draft. The reason why he dropped is like a lot of people aren't sold at him being able to play the 3 at 6'7", 240 plus. They think he's undersized. I think if he can round out that 3-point shot, he'll be fine. And I'm kind of surprised he fell into the second.
I mean, with our team though, our team is a lot of lengthy, athletic wings. Like Trey Murphy grew to 6'11". He's at least 6'10", 6'11". He entered the draft at 6'9". Bi is a lie. If you really tell me Brandon Ingram is 6'8", you're lying. He's about 6'10", 6'11". Herb Jones is 6'7" with a really long wingspan. I don't think EJ Liddell's being a bit undersized would really matter on a team like the Pelicans. I feel like we can compensate for that a lot.
Saying that's why he fell. That's why.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, every team that was drafting essentially from like 22, because the Sixers had like apparently traded their pick right before, and then before they traded it for Melton, people are saying they could pick him. So everybody below either already had a young big or didn't think that he would work with the current roster that they had. And that's what happens to most of them. Evan, you can speak on this. You watched the draft in probably twice in detail. Give me your biggest winners, losers, and takeaways from the draft.
Yeah. Well, just to follow up quick on the EJ Liddell stuff, he was on boards at 25 and 30, but that was mostly just not just Spurs Twitter, but draft Twitter all around hyping this man up. Not just me, but all around. He fell because he's fat. He fell because he's not swole. He's 240, had the highest body fat percentage at the draft combine 2 years ago, and then followed up with the same thing this year. So maybe he's not even as strong as what people think. He's pretty soft, but he has a burly body that is a force in the lane, and he can jump 38 inches in the air, highest in his group by far. But in terms of the biggest winners, it's by far the Pistons. They were trying to trade up to get Ivy. They would have to give up Sadiq Bey, but they got Ivy and Jalen Duren. All these guys played with each other in Team USA at one point, and the FIBA championships at one point. The chemistry is there, and they could still have a lot of cap space. They can sign Mikal Bridges. They can try and sign and trade for DeAndre Ayton. Literally, it was a blessing in seeing all that happen, and people want to be there. Like, it's not Detroit basketball isn't quite back just quite yet, in my opinion, but people actually want to be there. Free agents want to be there. People want to play with this young, exciting team. So, and that all flipped within 2 years? So shout out to them. The Knicks. Now, I'm not gonna call them a loser, but what they did, it's a kind of a head scratch. But here's the thing: a lot of people were trying to say that the Knicks had a lot of interest in prospects early in the draft, the AJ Griffins of the world, the Johnny Davises of the world. But what happened was, this is just what I heard. What happened was they didn't get a lot of promises, and the trade that went through with that was supposed to go through with Jaden Ivey never went through. Not only did it never go through, but that screwed up everything that what their initial plans were. So they took Ousmane Dieng, they traded them to get more picks. They didn't have any plans for what they wanted at 11. They were trying to get, they're trying to swoo and get Mo Bamba. So they were trying to, they weren't obviously going to get Jalen Duren. They just traded him. So all this 3-4 team trade, I don't even know what the official trade is, but all that is just hip hop, and basically it didn't go through from the standpoint of one GM not agreeing, maybe 1 or 2 picks, and then a promise pick not actually happening. The Knicks, they signed John Montero, the Dominican from OTE. Basically, if you're in the second round and you float around the 40 to 50s, you may not even want to go to that team that drafts you. You just say, no, never mind. I just rather pick my own team and undrafted free agency a couple hours later. And that's exactly what happened. The Spurs, I'll make this quick. I was in a space last night and it got ignited. I'm not gonna lie. I was on one. I had a little bit too much to drink, and I can tell you this: if the Spurs drafted 2 wings, 6'5", 6'4", a combo guard, another wing that's pretty much Lonnie Walker's replacement, and you sign a 6'8" point guard in Jordan Hall, and you bring in another forward who can't play the forward, he's another wing. Literally, I think DeJounte is out. I think Keldon Johnson is out. If anybody wants to offer some packages, we can get it going. Spurs Twitter is not I almost say the favorite of me in this opinion, but these guys are really toying with our franchise, and I can't deal with it much longer. Before Summer League, these guys are going to have to go. Not Keldon per se, but it's the clutch effect, and that rug is going to be pulled. Lonnie Walker's already gone, so
right now. I'll give
expeditiously.
Yeah, I'll give you Tobias Harris, Thibault, Spring.
Nope.
And a 4th round draft.
You lost me at Tobias Harris.
Come on,
we need young assets. I'm saying this like I'm on the team. They need young
would
assets.
take Thibault only?
No, bro, no. We don't need any more wings. We don't need any more wings that can't shoot.
Young asset.
We need a young asset that's on either a second year or third year contract. That's a stud, right? That's in a disgruntled situation. Not exactly Zion, obviously, but something that's like a DeAndre Hunter-esque, right? But he's untouchable in Atlanta, apparently. If you can get a couple picks, maybe a John Collins. The only reason why the Atlanta trade didn't go through is because of Onyeka Okongwu. That price was too high for him. So
yeah, they really do love Onyeka. They really love him.
Yeah. So.
Because they would rather jettison Clint Capella for it, rather than.
Clint Capella is not pulling the same trade weight as he used to.
But I would think though that with AJ Griffin being drafted, I think they may potentially make DeAndre Hunter available. They may. But
I don't think so, bro.
Yeah,
DeAndre Hunter is their life and soul for the wing defender, and AJ Griffin is the exact opposite. He's the exact opposite.
Bogey's done after this year, and Gallows on 8 years not guaranteed. So like Griffin is going to replace one of those two.
And they really wanted Jalen Williams, and that was, I want to say, the reach of the draft, but him at what, 11, 12, with the trade with the Thunder? Yeah, that was, I want to say a shock, but he was the Twitter darling of Spurs draft, or not Spurs draft, of draft Twitter, sorry. And literally, like, his upbringing and his hype was, I don't want to say too high, but he's literally going to be looked at one of those picks that people are going to scratch their heads about, maybe just for being higher over somebody else, you know?
Yeah. Hey, the Thunder, I think, also are trying to pick a replacement for Kenrich Williams. There's been ideas that he didn't get moved at the deadline, but he's going to get moved this offseason. And the one thing that Jalen has is that, 7'2" wingspan.
Oh, they're going to trade Kenrich Williams because they're going to give that number to Chet.
We'll get Origami Sports, who's been waiting for a minute. I appreciate your patience. After you, we got CJ and then Raphael. We got about another 40 minutes until I get my 3-day on. I mean, I'll still be on Twitter, but like your boy needs a break. 220 shows for the season. The NBA draft, actually, this is how I time my league calendar. The NBA draft is the end of my league year. Right, I think the end of the league is still actually technically a few days away, but generally speaking, once the draft, I just take 3-4 days and not even watch anything. I don't know. It's like I go into a cave like Winnie the Pooh with a thing of honey, and then I just eat honey and sleep. Literally, think of me of your NBA Winnie the Pooh, but like funny with awesome food takes. Origami, what's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing great. I mean, I might even get mimosas on a Friday afternoon, even though I don't like mimosas. They're like violent. They're insidious. Like, they are really the worst cocktail you could ever drink.
Oh, snap. He took it there. But, Hello, everybody else as well. Thank y'all for listening. Make sure you guys give Chris here a follow. I mean, he does these spaces. They're really awesome. So if you guys want more of them, make sure you follow him if you're not already, if you're listening. Chris, I wanted to kind of get your attention to the Jumbotron. There was a tweet that I saw by this person named Guy Haberman. First of all, Guy is just a cool name. That is an awesome name. But apparently the Kings over the years, they've been kind of one pick too late. Or too early, I should say. They picked the number one pick, Bagley the third, then Luka Doncic was the third pick. Then, T. Robinson was number 5. Then Damian Lillard was number 6. Jimmer Fredette, and then Klay Thompson, right after at number 11. So what I'm trying all that to say is that Ivy, who the Pistons drafted, they were after the Kings. Maybe that will happen again. Maybe we could see Ivy become a very good player or a superstar in the NBA. I was putting that out there. Thanks for the time.
I am not responsible for any of these picks.
But you are. Do you have any idea? Because we all believe that you're the Kings insider in these parts.
No, I am not a Kings insider. Never worked for them. Yeah. And I am not responsible for any of those picks. That's all I got to say about that. Jaden Ivey, by the way, some people had said that he could emerge as actually the better long-term NBA prospect out of everybody that was picked, including over Paolo Banchero.
Oh, without a doubt, 100%.
I am not on the Keegan Murray bus train. And first of all, I don't think any of these players are bust. Like even the players that didn't get drafted, to Evan Townsend's point, there are times where a team will tell a player like, "Yo, we'll take you 51." And then their representation, they go back and say, "Hey, man, we got Team X. They say 51." Sometimes the player will literally tell them, "Nah, bro. Get me to Summer League on another squad and let me get into the G League because they don't want to go to Indiana, or they don't want to go to Salt Lake City." We can't really call people like that busts. What we need to do is say that they're trying to find a better developmental path. And to highlight that, like Ron Harper Jr. Signed with Toronto. And I put a tweet out last night that it was the perfect spot because what Ron Harper Jr. needed was a place that he could trust. And he trusts the developmental history of Toronto. And obviously, there had already been, back and forth talk in terms of what Toronto is about and what Ron Harper believes he is about as a player. These are what actually makes the lifeblood of the league work here. If you look at the Lakers, they picked up a bevy of players, and they're going to play and they're going to sell tickets, for the G League team, but they're going to develop. That's the whole point. A lot of people are poo-pooing on what the Lakers did, and I'm over here the Lakers were smart.
No, that's the same with the Raptors. I mean, getting a guy like Koloko is a defensive is a move where they can develop him, they can stash him, they can absorb losing a guy like Boucher, maybe in free agency or to somewhere else that they're not necessarily as high of. We were talking about this last night in the stream about how this is like the moneyballification of the NBA right now, where you can draft guys late freshmen. And this is kind of why I really liked the Golden State pick of Patrick Baldwin Jr. I like this idea where if a freshman's not necessarily ready or a top tier freshman coming out of the draft, or he's not a Duke guy, or he didn't go to, or he played in the WAC or whatever, you can draft him, and now you have that asset for 3 years, and you can develop him, put all your assets, all your work, all your energy into him, and turn him into a star, rather than what they would have to do, which is basically go to a team and either linger on the bench or not get the attention that they need. The resources now for guys coming into the league is we're going to see a lot less busts.
Exactly. And to the other side, you're using some money ball here, and that's true. But to the other side, if you look at in baseball, nobody ever complains about a team selecting a former player's kid. You ever notice that? They don't do it in football. They don't do it in hockey. But geez, let another player's son get draft eligible. Like if they don't go in the top 5 picks, like the automatic bust. Like it just doesn't work that way.
No, but they could be their own player too and contribute in their own way. And they don't he doesn't have to be the next Scottie Pippen.
Who, by the way,
he doesn't have to be the next Ron. He doesn't have to be the next Gary
Payton. He's a 2-time All SEC player. Like the kid is a good player, and if he just goes to South Bay and does his job, he can get to the league, and he knows how to play. And that's the other thing. He actually knows other things that other players don't know
don't know exactly.
Yeah,
Gary Payton Jr. has been told by his father, find your role, fit in your spot. You don't got to be a superstar. You don't got to be and just contribute. And almost I think a lot of the sons of ex players are almost have that. This generation of them feels that extra sort of challenge, and I really kind of like that.
I do too. So shout out to Sharif and shout out to Scotty. And I think there's Max Christie drafted by the Lakers. Like that, I think that for the Lakers is brilliant because they're gonna have players who know what their parents, what the fathers had to do to play in the league. Their fathers are gonna buy in, saying, "This is what failed for me. This is what changed for me. This is what we think is gonna change." Like you don't think that every single one of these fathers is spending their own time and money to help their sons develop as well as the team? Like, come on.
As good a training as they could possibly get, as good a training as the league could possibly, or their team could possibly give them.
Yeah, it's a win. And
don't sleep on Sharif O'Neal either, because I'll tell you what, if that U of A situation doesn't go down and then he doesn't get diagnosed with that heart condition,
the foot
he very well could have been in this first round tonight.
It was the foot injury that I think.
And the foot injury, yeah, on top of that. But it was a multitude of things that just guys get derailed all the time. They have the talent and their situation doesn't fit. They pick the wrong school. The wrong coach gets them. They go to you look at Duke. You think all of those guys shined as brightly as Paolo?
You know what? I think Mark Williams actually shined brightly as Paolo. I just think he didn't get the national media recognition.
Exactly.
I have a question.
All right, go ahead, and then we're going to move to Raphael and CJ because they've been waiting.
Is there anything that surprised you for a particular player with whether how far they went down or were undrafted?
Yeah, there was a couple. Kendall Brown, I thought was probably 23 to 40, and he dropped to 48. That was something that kind of caught me. Bryce McGowan's dropping to 40 also got me. He, to me, was one of those guys that was going to be right at the 28 to 32 mark. He's got all the physical tools and measurables out of Nebraska. He just is young, Those two probably are the ones that kind of surprised me the most. Oh, and shout out to the Warriors for picking and then trading somebody that they might actually end up regretting trading. I found this kind of funny. They don't normally make moves like this, but they picked up I think it's pronounced Gui Santos out of Brazil, and he's got a funky game, and I think he would have been a great prospect and development for the Warriors, and they traded him. That was kind of shocking because he's super young. Raphael, you're up next, and then CJ. We got Jay the Wakandan tech support. 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, until I start my 3-day weekend. Appreciate it, everybody. Raphael, good morning.
Hey, good morning, man. What's up, everybody? So thank you guys for allowing me to talk. It's been tough. I'm a Knicks fan, and it was a tough draft. But we have the off season, so I don't know what are we gonna do. But I mean, basically, I'm just gonna keep it short. I mean, the only player that I can see that I would want as a trade or signing trade, and I don't even know if we can get him. I know a lot of people really like DeJounte Murray, but I feel like that's way out of my reach. But the Celtics do have Derek White. I don't know if we can get him. I don't. I mean, we do have Derek Rose. I don't know if we have pieces available for him, but that's the only player that sort of that I really would like to trade for this offseason. And that's about it.
All right. I still thought like Malcolm Brogdon is a good fit for New York. I still don't understand why they're the enamored with Jalen Brunson, because for me, if I'm New York, I'm gonna be honest and say that the future is building around RJ Barrett, and I would rather wait to give him the max contract and bring in another guy with a max. That's just how.
I don't understand what the rush is. I don't understand what the rush is for them.
I don't know, but like I will say this, Raphael, you do have one thing to be happy about. Are you ready for this, Raphael?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're not the Nets.
That was uncalled for.
Right.
That was rude. That was churlish and chicanerous and deplorable.
This is my whole. This is my. If I can speak, I don't know if I should speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. This is my whole thing. That I feel like many, and this could be a hot take, but in terms of building a team, right? I feel like a lot of people in the Knicks situation, they look at the concept of how the 76ers with we need to tank, and that's a whole different philosophy, right, in its own, with the 76ers. But you also have the Boston Celtics and their philosophy. And if you look back, when they drafted Jaylen Brown, they won like 50 games. When they drafted Jason Tatum, they won 50 games, and they still had the concept of competing while building through the draft. Now, granted that they got those number 3 picks because of the Nets trade for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and the whole nine, but ideally, right? If you look back, right? If you look a lot of teams that have drafted between 11 and 14, right? There's been a lot of hits between 11 and 14. Zach LaVine, DeMontis Sabonis, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Miles Bridges. The list goes on and on and on. So the Knicks don't really need to be upset. I don't feel like you have two options. You can either compete and be right. Look at the Miami Heat. They got Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, and they were both drafted 13 and 14. So you can do it. It's just very, but if you have the Sam Hinkie mentality, then you're just thinking it's the end of the world. But if you look at competent teams like the Celtics, like the Heat, they're doing it building. Well, the Heat, the Celtics got one thing, but the Heat did it with building through 13 and 14 in those spots, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I have to push back a little bit. I'm not defending the process, because we will never know what the actual process was going to be. Sam Hinkie was never given the chance to finish it, and without seeing what it was going to be, like, we now look back and say that it was the mentality of tank, tank, tank. The closest that we'll ever see to what Sam Hinkie wanted to do for the Sixers is in Oklahoma City right now, right? And that's why I say it's not tanking, right? They are going to compete, but on a protracted timeline, so that they can get to the point where they are perennially competing. The issue with the Sixers were that they could never compete consistently. Like, they won the chip with Moses Malone, but they get Charles Barkley and they can't do anything. Like, they pick up Derek Coleman, they can't do anything. They draft Allen Iverson after crapping out, and he takes them to the finals, wins game one, where I screamed, you should trade him now, never get higher value. And then we go all the way until the process. So, like, there's never been consistency in Philadelphia. His goal for the process was to bring stability and consistency to the Sixers. And it was going to be a probably 7 to 10 year plan. And once new ownership came in and some other basketball minds came in, they booted the plan, and we'll never know. That it's one of those what ifs, man. Like if
And
we
they'll
could,
never find his body.
Well, if I can push back,
go ahead.
My only pushback to that what you're saying is because you gave credit to Sam Presti, was Sam Presti. This is where I give Sam Presti a lot of credit. He was able to draft Kevin Durant at number 2, James Harden at number 3, Russell Westbrook at number 4, and now granted, and also Serge Ibaka. He also drafted Serge Ibaka, Josh Green. So he's hit on some of those. He's hit on those selections. Now I get it. With Kevin Durant, he didn't get nothing for him, and he went straight to Golden State, won his championships. Sam Presti never got a dime out of that. But for everybody else, for the most part, he got multiple picks, 3 or 4 picks. So, and I don't know how to explain it because I heard it through. I don't know how to explain that part, but I hear that, for example, like something like along the lines. You're gonna have to correct me in this part because there's a lot of paraphrasing. Like for example, they traded Serge Ibaka for Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis, and then they ended up trading Domantas Sabonis and Victor Oladipo for um, Paul George, and then once they traded Paul George, that turned into 4 picks and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So it's basically what they're doing is like it's like is it a chain reaction that I want to use the word, but it's
No,
basically
it's
but
not a chain reaction. Like
it's like the same player that they're trading, they continue to get multiple picks. They have
it's because he knows how to position his team in the negotiation to extract maximum value, right? That's all this is. Like Sam Hinkie drafted and you could take Dario Saric out this list now if you want, but like he drafted a rookie of the year in Michael Carter Williams. Like I'm not saying Michael Carter Williams had a great career. He's had a career like it's expanded what almost a decade. Rashawn Holmes is still in the league making $10 million a year and is likely to be a 25 to 29 minutes per game player. He was drafted by him. Jeremy Grant was drafted by him. So you have Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons was drafted by him. So like he's hit just like Sam Presti. The issue was that in the process of trying to develop the on-hand talent that was marketed as a surefire competitive build, Sam Hinkie wanted to continue the process. They thought the process was over and they wanted to win. And that's where the divergence is, where people then start saying, well, Hinkie didn't do what Presti did. Well, he really did. He just the team itself didn't perform like the trio or actually quartet in
The difference is that you can't get away with doing that in a city like Philadelphia.
That too.
And you can get away with doing that in a city like Oklahoma City.
That too. Yeah, that also happened a lot. Just imagine, Raphael, if the Knicks had gone through the process, right? Like, people don't understand. Like, Sam Hinkie was getting daily death threats, y'all. Like, and we still are actually in a competitive position because of what Sam Hinkie did, and nobody wants to give him credit for it. Appreciate it, Raphael. CJ, you're up next. Origami, Jay the Wakandan tech support. 21 minutes and some change before I start my 3-day. The clock is ticking. CJ, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to say this about the draft really quick. One, I like what the Warriors did. Very interesting in my opinion. Um, and just so you guys know, my episode as we speak is 20 minutes away from being uploaded onto YouTube, so check it out. I do get my draft reactions. Um, and another thing I think is hilarious about the draft, right? Like fans overreact entirely too much to everything that happens. Like whether it's the lack of trades that they thought were going to happen or trades that did happen and the guys that get drafted. Like we we have to understand that, you know, these guys, just because they get picked where they get picked doesn't mean they're gonna be boom or bust. Like you have to give these guys time. And then like the thing is too, and I mentioned this in my podcast in today's episode. Um, if you trust your organization's player development staff, then you really shouldn't be overly concerned about what happens with these guys that your team picked. Like more likely than not, it probably is gonna work out. And if it doesn't, it's not the worst thing in the world, depending on what your team's, situation is. Um, and then just to real quick say which teams I really liked what they did in the draft. I thought what OKC did was interesting, getting Chet Holmgren and then making the leap for Jalen Williams at 12. And then I thought it was hilarious that they drafted the other Jalen Williams from Arkansas as well. That was hilarious to me. Um, really liked what Detroit did in the draft, being able to snatch up Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. Really like what Troy Weaver is building in Detroit right now. And then the other team outside of the Warriors, obviously, that I liked what they did was I liked what Chicago did with drafting Dalen Terry, just because I felt like they did such a great job with Io DeSumo last year that I think Dalen Terry is going to end up working out well for them as well. But outside of that, I thought it was an interesting draft overall. Um, was kind of surprised by Paolo going first, but man, you know, seeing Jabari Smith's face when he got picked third, he looked highly upset, and I think he's gonna take it out on the league.
He did look mad, and I think probably because the talk to him to Orlando, he thought it was probably set. I think that is going to be something to watch for because I think we might have some trades in the future. And when that first happened, when they picked Paulo, I was like, yeah, I can see them, trying to force Houston into a trade, saying, hey, if you really want them, go ahead and send us the third pick and, player X and or another, future draft pick. And by the way, that would be like the super savvy, asshole-ish thing to do as a GM, right? Pick the dude that number 3 wants at number 1, forcing them to take the dude you want, knowing that number 2's not going to be that guy, and then come back a couple of days later and say, hey, how about Paolo for Jabari, and we'll take next year's first.
But Chris, my thing is though, is I don't understand why Orlando did the big smoke screen, getting people to think, and maybe it was the media, but getting people to think they were gonna take Jabari. Like I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, why would the number one team with the number one pick be sitting here throwing smoke screens when they don't have to, because they can get whoever the hell they want. Like they literally have everybody available to them that they want. So like, why do the smoke? That was hilarious to me.
Do you see the betting lines on who would go one?
Yeah, no,
You
I
know,
definitely saw
that
the
was
betting lines
wild.
were heavy.
Yeah,
The
I
betting
brought that.
lines were definitely heavy for Paolo. I thought that was interesting, but I didn't read too much into it because I
No,
didn't
I
know what to
I
expect
brought
from
it up
that.
in a tweet, and then somebody came back at me and said, "Yeah, well, they're down again." And I said, "No, they're not. Paolo's going number 1." And look what happened. John Hammond is the GM, and I don't. He's won an NBA Executive of the Year award, right? So like, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me either. And again, the only thing that I could think is that he did it just so he can go to Houston and try to get Jabari and snag more value. And I think it probably fell through in the back channels. And I think we are where we are. And I don't think Paolo's happy. And I think that picture last night with Adam Silver shows it. Like people say he doesn't smile. Nah, go look at him in Duke. That dude smiles. Look at him in those cars. He's smiling in his cars. Don't tell me Paolo can't smile. I done seen him like I don't smile. I smile like when I'm seeing somebody suffer in a bad movie. Shout out all those bad movies like Batman. I smile, but that's like masochistic type smile because the movie's that bad. Shout out Batman. But no, he was not happy being drafted by Orlando. Jay, the Wakandan tech support, man. Good morning. What's up?
You choosing violence today, Chris. I might have to
I
message
see
you.
Chris wants to make it very clear that every Batman movie is a bad movie. That's hilarious.
There's no good Batman movie. I stand on that hill, and
The devil's a liar. The devil's a liar, Chris.
I stand on that hill, and I have yet to die.
Chris, do you hate Adam West that much?
One thing to have bad food takes, but bad Batman takes. Come on.
It's not a bad take. All of y'all are worshiping a fake Batman. Like, y'all need some help. Like this revisionist history is god awful. We're gonna
Chris,
move to
Chris, I have a quick question though. So you don't like any of the Batman movies? That's understandable. But how do you feel about the Joker? Like how Heath Ledger played the Joker? Like was that not great or?
One of my gripes about the Batman movies is that Batman has literally every scene stolen from him.
Yeah, Batman. That's the problem with Batman movies is that Batman is the worst actor in them.
Every scene is stolen, and then when they give the dude who's playing him his own scene, you're like, why am I wasting 3 minutes of my time watching some random dude scowl?
You could tell when they were cutting the scene between Paul Dano and Rob Pattinson that the director was like, do I have to cut back to Batman?
That's a lie. I would not stand for this. Injustice.
Well, Dany, go ahead and have a seat.
I will. I'm having a seat right now with my mimosa and my chalupa and my Chick-fil-A. God dang it.
You just all about midlife today, huh?
I'm about to say she named everything
I got
that
time
Chris
today.
hates right now.
I got time today.
I can tell you on your day off, and instead of enjoying a beautiful day, you just buy it in midness.
Hey, Supreme Court has upset me. By the way, the cops don't have to read y'all Miranda rights.
That is not true. Wait, that's not true. That's not true. The actual decision is about enforcement and the enforcement aspect of getting.
I'm playing. Yeah, you don't have to sue them. I'm just playing.
Yeah. I want to be careful about that one because I made a comment in an unrecorded space, and apparently people got pissed off about it, and I just want to make sure because there's a few of them that are in here.
I know. I'm tired of reading. But you never talk about Batman no more.
I'm just pissed with the regards to Roe versus Wade though. So
right. Well, yeah, not getting into that.
No, that's a street we don't want to walk down.
Reclaiming my time.
So what happens when you talk about Batman, man? You fall into crap. That's
reclaiming my time should be like every dude should get that tattooed on them.
Chris, you know what's worse than Batman right now? Kai Soto stands.
Oh,
and worse than Batman right now? The Supreme Court.
We actually went there.
Hey.
Show Killer is back, baby.
There's actually stands pissed off at the NBA for not drafting him at all.
Reclaiming his time. The eminent Jay, the Wakandan tech support from the team of the Memphis Grizzlies and the Los Angeles Lakers. The floor is yours.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Friday. I can't believe Memphis passed on Jovic twice. They got two players who look like really good rotational pieces. I can't give them. I can't, but for the Knicks to trade a lottery pick, I'm sorry, let me back up. For the Knicks to trade two lottery talents for draft picks that won't convey in the lottery, and they probably won't get for like 3 years, for the opportunity for Jalen Brunson to say no because Texas doesn't have any state income tax is phenomenally bad. Phenomenally bad. Because Dieng was the perfect wing to put beside RJ Barrett.
a big point forward, 6'9", who isn't going to need a whole bunch of shots. Then you get Jalen Duren. So now you can sign and trade Mitchell Robinson. So I thought, for more draft capital. Nope. You trade him and Kemba Walker, who you could have bought out yourself for a nothing burger. And I was just happy I wasn't a Knicks fan.
Well,
Thank
not
God.
burger, Jay. You got to be honest. It's a nothing burger with cheese.
Yes, there you go. But it's processed cheese. You know what I'm saying? It's a Kraft
Yeah.
single.
Yeah,
You know
the
what I mean?
one
It's
that
not even the
doesn't
good
melt
cheese.
right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's crazy. And then, thank God, Pat Riley saves us all by drafting Jovic. So now I got to deal with Joker to Miami rumors all year, okay? Because had Golden State drafted Jovic, it would have been a big trouble in the NBA city, man. So, I mean, that's my quick fire draft recap. I really like what Houston did. I think they're going to be what Memphis is in about 3 years, if everything, or 2, possibly 2, depending on how fast everything develops. I really like what Detroit did. And it's going to be a phenomenal summer league. I'm really, really looking forward to summer league, and I'm trying to pick up some side jobs and some side hustles so I can get some bread to maybe catch a game or 2 in Vegas, because this is going to be super interesting because the Lakers are going to basically have gladiator school to see who's the 10 through 15 guys on their bench. And the Grizzlies have a whole bunch of guys who can play D, move, and cut.
Tryouts. They just
Yeah.
split the ball in half.
No, it's definitely tryouts. Like, no. The top 5 guys on the Lakers summer league team definitely getting NBA contracts, baby. I can't wait to see how that ball movement is going to work. So yeah, man, I was thoroughly entertained by the draft. I don't understand what the Sixers were doing by getting DeAnthony Melton. It's like the Sixers want a whole bunch of guys that are really good, but they can't be over 6'6". Like, they cannot be over 6'6". And in a conference with Giannis, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, that seems less than ideal. But let's see what happens.
All right. We got about, I'll give us a little bit of extra time. We got a couple more people up here with their hands up, and I actually want to spend some time with Matthew Maurer of the Draft Review. That's the person we're going to speak with next. I want to thank everybody who's popped in here to Hoop Spaces, your weekend Hoop Spaces post-NBA draft. We appreciate all of you who come in. Episode 220. Man.
Hey, I'm gonna step
Shout out to
down.
the Draft Review, man. Shout out to him. I was in a Raptor space with him.
I'm gonna step
Good
down.
dude.
Peace
All right.
out, guys.
Have a great weekend, Raphael. Yeah, gosh, 220. I just had to stop. There's been 251 days. So only 31 days. That's including weekends and holidays. Matthew Bauer, the Draft Review, TheDraftReview.com. Ladies and gentlemen, head over there and you can actually see how right he was, because he was more right than wrong for a lot of people. In fact, if you actually switch out just 2 moves, he basically got the entire lotto right. It's insane. Matthew Maurer also joined Evan Townsend here earlier this week for your deep dive, so I want to give him a thanks. But this is your Christmas as well. The presents are open. What are your thoughts?
Well, I just woke up because, I was burning the midnight oil and, of course, talking to people. I got hats off to Orlando. They had everybody fooled, man. I mean, it was like 5 minutes before the draft, or about 3 minutes, really. And then all of a sudden you see Woj talking about, it looks like they're going to take Paolo. I'm like,
see, we can't talk about them because I don't want to get blocked again.
That's right. We're not, shout out to Woj.
Oh man, yo.
And then it just got a little weird. It got pretty crazy. I think the one move that puzzled me the most in the first round, 2 moves. I'm lying if I say it's just one. is I don't get the David Roddy pick. That's a guy you could have got in the mid-second round. I just don't understand that. And then, I had said in one of these spaces that, and some people disagree with me, and I think now they're saying, you know what, he's right. Perry Watson. So I had made a statement that the NBA is essentially taking kids on the credit of their high school career. Perry Watson went into UCLA, top 10 recruit, averaged 3 points a game, and he became a first-round pick. Now, if anybody wants to tell me that he became a first-round pick because of the work he put at UCLA, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. I'm just saying.
God damn. Hey, listen, I understand that there was a little bit of clutterness in UCLA, so I understand that he showed promise. I think that this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where a guy just goes to a situation like Shadon Sharp to Kentucky, and it's just not a fit. It's just not the right spot for him. And, that happens. People make the wrong decisions about their future all the time, so... But I definitely think that you're absolutely right, his high school clout carried him through whatever bad year gap that he had. So clearly the measurables there that teams like.
In UCLA than Cash is his FIBA career. It's woefully you can give me UCLA all you want, but did you not see the under 19?
You were the one that said under 19 because it shouldn't count for anything. You were the one saying last night that under 19.
No, against competition against others. We don't look at France's under 19 like we look at the United States under 19. Is what I'm saying.
No, we shouldn't though.
And why is he only averaging 4 points and 3 boards and 2 assists?
And I do want to remind people, if you were here when we had the hoop spaces with me and Evan and Chris, one of the names that did come up high was Jake LaRavia, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
He went up pretty. I had him going 27th. I think he went. What did he go? 19th. So that's a huge jump.
I thought that was very high for him. Chris said last night on the stream that he could have seen him going as early as 12.
Yep.
Which is wild to me. I thought that.
I think that's what bothers me about both Memphis picks is they both have dad bods, and
exactly.
I'm anti-dad bod and anti-Paul Pierce, and now I got to root for two dudes, and all I'm gonna see is Paul Pierce.
Oh man, I want to ask you, to me, what Jake has that very few people have in the draft, specifically that will fit in Memphis, is just versatility.
Oh, without question. I mean, he can dribble, he can pass guys, he can score, he can pass. He's got a lot of multifaceted skills.
What do you think? Kyle Anderson with a shot.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
What else did you, big winners and losers are a big surprise other than David Roddy? I that did shock me. Did Blake Wesley to San Antonio shock you?
It did. I'm not as high on Blake Wesley. I would have took Jaden Hardy. I'm not gonna lie. I think Hardy has more upside, but look, Blake's a good consolation prize there. I tell you, the other guy, I had him going 25th in my mock. So even though I say this, I had it with the idea that Hardy was off the board, and that's Wendell Moore. I was kind of surprised that he started out the year really strong at Duke, and then he fizzled out towards the end. And I don't know. You look at the tape, there's just things that I just don't like about him when Hardy's still on the board. Let me think.
Are you surprised that the Spurs took all 3 of those picks?
I am. I was just certain that they were going to
I had
package and
that
trade.
locked in my notes as my number one thing. There was no way they're making all 3 of these picks. There was no way in my mind that they were taking all 3 of these picks. And I'm not saying that they picked poorly. I think we were just talking about the Wesley pick for sure. But I really love Malachi Branham. I thought he could have gone much higher than he did.
Yeah, that was a steal.
Getting him at 20 is just like...
Yeah, I had a late lottery grade on him. I really like Malachi a lot.
But that just shows you how the early parts of the draft, like you were saying in spaces before, it directly implicates what happens later. That's why these teams, they make these boards, and then they happen, and then some of them just throw them out, and they're like, we got to get the best guy here.
Speaking of making changes that make things happen, Two players were drafted. Well, three, but one was traded to Minnesota, so I'm not going to count them. The Pacers drafted Andrew Nembhard, 31, and then Kennedy Chandler was drafted by the Spurs and subsequently traded to Memphis. Is this saying that T.J. McConnell and Tyus Jones are gone?
Absolutely.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think so.
I love TJ McConnell though.
But what I will say, Chris, is there is a path where Memphis keeps Tyus Jones, and then Kennedy Chandler takes Jarrett Culver's spot on the bench, and so he's the third emergency point guard, and he can kind of just.
I can see that.
I'm just saying, there's a world where that happens too. I'm not saying it's likely, but I'm just saying I could see them making that choice as well.
And shout out to Jay. He had my back in Toronto Spaces. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey man, no problem, man. Like, I love Toronto Spaces. It's just once they put that Toronto across their chest, they can do no wrong. And it's like, dog, he's not saying that
That's
Colloquial is
everybody.
Michael. Nah, it's different, bro.
Nah.
I don't know if it's the Caribbean accent, but it's like a tinge of disrespect that's not necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we're gonna move from you to somebody.
Shout out to Fahim.
They're so friendly that it feels like disrespect. It feels like passive aggressiveness.
We got young Harriet. We're going to use this time because we're also talking Memphis to bring her into the conversation. We got Matthew Maurer, the draft review. If you do have questions, I'm going to extend it for another 10 minutes. So if you do have questions for Matthew Maurer, now's the time after we get to young Harriet. Young Harriet, good morning. Thank you for popping in. How do you feel about your Memphis Grizzlies?
Absolutely. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I feel great. I just came back from trying to jump off the Hernando de Soto. If y'all don't know what that is the big M bridge in the city of Memphis. Now, were we all surprised at who the Grizzlies drafted last night? Yes, we were. I mean, let's not lie to ourselves here. But a couple of things became abundantly clear last night after reflecting on the Grizzlies draft. Zach Kleiman, Tayshaun Prince, and Rich Cho don't give one damn about a mock draft and where a player is supposed to be drafted because of how they look in a basketball uniform. They don't give a shit about that, and we shouldn't either. Now, when you look at what the Grizzlies needed in terms of skills, they needed 3-point shooters. It is my belief, after sleeping on it and, not jumping off the bridge, that the Grizzlies got 3 of the best shooters out of this entire draft. When you look at a potential third backup point guard, that's what I believe Kennedy Chandler is going to be, because I do believe there is a strong possibility that Tyus Jones does come back and plays behind Ja Morant, who, by the way, is the only person I believe that Tyus Jones will play behind, because he has stated before that he wants to be a starting point guard, and he was tweeting, as much at the Boston Celtics that they needed a starting point guard, and you're looking right at him. That being Tyus Jones. I think Jake LaRavia is going to be. I'm not going to say he's going to take a leap like Desmond Bain, but I think he could be one of those guys. And we look back at this draft and say, you know what, the Grizzlies got an incredible amount of value out of him, considered where he was drafted. The Grizzlies, people are talking about where they drafted certain guys. They only went up 6 spots to get David Roddy. And from the conversation Zach Kleiman had with David Roddy, it was their intention to draft that young man all along. So you have to take it for what it is. And what you hope is that they can get them in their developmental system, and you get a better Kyle Anderson, because you can imagine Ja Morant coming down the lane with Desmond Bain in one corner, Jaren Jackson possibly playing the 5 now, along with Brandon Clark, and Jake LaRavia standing over in that corner. It's going to be quite different. It's going to be a different situation. You're not going to be able to clog the paint like they did this year in certain parts of the Minnesota series, and definitely in a series with the Golden State. And Vince Williams, it may turn out to be, in my opinion, I know this is a stretch because of where he was drafted, uh, that volume scorer off the bench, because that kid's bag is incredibly deep. And if you don't believe he can play defense, that prototypical 3-and-D wing, which I think is selling him quite short, go look at the game he played against Jake LaRavia. Jake LaRavia didn't want any of that action, and I'm glad they're both on the same team together. I'm calling it right now, the Memphis Grizzlies. And it's not to say that I wasn't shocked and dismayed by some of the picks, because I was. And I think we have the Summer League champs. I'm calling it right now. Smash and Dash. That's what I'm calling it. We're going to have the hamburger eating champs of the Summer League. Don't play with it. And I am just glad. I'm glad that the Grizzlies jumped in front of the San Antonio Spurs, which is what they intended to do, to draft Jake LaRavia. Okay, let's be honest here, Evan. I was in y'all spaces, and y'all throw shots at the Grizzlies, say they gotta be humble and all of this different kind of shit. So I'm glad that we jumped in front of the San Antonio Spurs, who it appears their intention was to draft Mr. LaRavia. So it would make sense for the Grizzlies to jump in front of it. But yeah, I'm feeling good this morning, much better than I was last night. It's gonna be 100 degrees here again for no apparent damn reason. So if anybody has any air conditioners that they want to send to Memphis, feel free, because we got air conditioning. We're gonna have air conditioning and shooters this year in the city of Memphis. You can't ask for anything more than that. I'm good this morning.
All right. Well, if you
Feeling good
have any
morning.
AC units, DM the people of Memphis, because it's hot.
Absolutely. And by the way, Kennedy Chandler playing with Ja Morant. You cannot tell me manifestation is not real. Look at it.
Well, it's a small world, so manifestation tends to actually happen more often than not.
I know. So you're brilliant, Chris. You're brilliant.
He is, but I still rather have Jovic.
Too bad. You know what, Jay? They can keep Jovic. He can't even show up on time for a job interview. They could keep him.
I love Roddy. I just ain't taking him 26.
They can keep him. Oh well, he don't. Again, Zach Kleiman don't give a damn about what we talking about. We wanted Dalen Terry, and he said bump that. We'll take the 6'5" quarterback.
Shot putter too.
Absolutely. So yeah, Chris. Yeah, I feel bad for you, Philadelphia 76ers fans, because y'all think y'all actually won that deal last night with Danny Green.
No, it was a push trade
by getting D'Anthony Melton.
Yeah, there wasn't a win. It was actually a perfect trade for each side.
Right. I'll see you in November when D'Anthony Melton can't stay in front of his man nor make an open 3-point shot.
And I'll see you in December when he gets 5 steals in a game and drops down 6 or 8 from deep.
He's going to turn over 2 of those, by the way. But there's neither here nor there.
Young Harriet, ladies and gentlemen, if you need some Memphis Grizzlies on your timeline, that is definitely the person to follow. We got Bankai. I'm going to get him up here, and Hoop Spaces Ryan. Then I'm going to get ready to log off because I ain't going to lie, man. I'm tired. You can hear it in my voice.
This
like
government got me exhausted. Son.
People at me now about coleslaw. I didn't even tweet about coleslaw today. Someone just said, "Well, you tweet about coleslaw."
He won't.
It's elite. Coleslaw is elite. Say it with me, Bankai.
It's elite.
Nah.
Put it on a pulled pork sandwich.
Bankai killing shows 3 ways every. It's hilarious. All right.
So I was confused.
Oh, now you're ready. Now you're ready.
Yeah.
Like you're not ready when I throw it to you. You just gonna let me hang out here. Gosh.
You're right. My bad. All right. So first I started out calm. Then
Shout out to coleslaw.
Then I got upset. Then I got confused. I'm still a little confused. I'm not upset anymore at what the Knicks did, but all right, correct me if I'm wrong though. Was it really a first or two firsts that the Knicks traded in order like to get rid of Kemba Walker, or was it 2 seconds? Because I'm hearing it's 2 seconds.
Yes. The answer is yes. Ultimately, the answer is
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
The way that the deal was made is that it's likely to convey to 2 seconds. I've explained it like 3 times. This was a trade to make another trade.
Right. So in the grand scheme of things, yes, it's very confusing. I can understand, a variety of fans getting upset because it kind of looks like we technically didn't do anything. But I get it. It's like you said it.
Something.
No. But I'm saying I get it. It's like it's working towards a larger trade. Like for example, if like we want a Donovan Mitchell or something like that, and they ask, oh, like yeah, throw in like 3 firsts or 4 firsts or something like that with some young player, then now we can do that. So I kind of understand it, but I want to be a bit sympathetic to the other side because people are human, fans are human, and then of course like when somebody doesn't fully understand what the team is working to or how the trade really looks in the end, then of course people are going to get upset. It's just human reaction. It is what it is. It takes a little bit to understand it. Even I was very confused at the moment, but now that like I sit down and I clearly look at it and I hear other people like you or like Shawn from the Knicks will break it down and explain it, it makes sense.
Well, I appreciate that. I think the Knicks did a great job. Like I was on the stream with Netcast and Cash, and I was also on Saint from Next Kingdom. I don't think I brought it up there. For what Knicks want to do, perfect.
I also like Trevor Keels. I just don't agree with the comparison that was made last night, like Desmond Bain. Like I'm not sure what was going on there.
They think every guy that comes into the league with shoulders now is Desmond Bain.
Right, like they like as soon as he said, "Oh yeah, he's muscular," Desmond Bain. I was like, "What?"
All the comparisons were bad last night. It was terrible.
It was
I don't. Well, you wait. Ryan,
I saw you tweeted that.
Isn't he Gary Harris? Like that was my comp. You talking about Ryan Rollins, or who are you talking about?
Trevor Keels.
Oh yeah, okay. That's yeah. I can.
If anything, what I got from it a little bit, I feel like he's a little bit of a Deuce McBride, but just a little bit bigger and stronger with like maybe a bit more polished offense. But in terms of like that like dog and like playing defense and being tough, I kind of got like Deuce McBride vibes from him. But Desmond, I can see why Desmond Bain felt like I guess a bit insulted and went after Perkins.
Well, Perkins knows what he's doing. I keep trying to tell people Perkins is a genius. I'm gonna get Hoop Spaces Ryan up here. Evan Townsend has his hand raised. So does Origami.
I really can't wait to hear Evan did. I'm so excited. I've been thinking about the Spurs draft. The Spurs draft has got me really.
Did you miss what he said earlier?
No, I wasn't listening.
You just wasn't okay. So you weren't listening, and you didn't.
I was taking a shower.
So you weren't listening, but you didn't miss it, or you did miss it and you were listening.
Yes.
I like that. Ryan, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going, Chris?
I tell you what, as teachers, if you've ever taught, and you hit that 5-day mark out from summer vacation, and you ain't getting anything done, like I am there, T+2.
Wheeling in the television.
Okay. All right, I'll make my topic quick. We still got Matthew here, right?
Yeah, he's here. So is Evan Townsend.
All right, my question is related to Charlotte and their pick trade, because I kind of understand, and I don't really have the details under wraps about that Knicks trade with the 11th pick, but with the 13th pick and that trade, and then with subsequent pick trades, I don't understand how Charlotte didn't get a better return on that pick when the 11th pick got such a haul. So can someone explain to me that knows more about this why Charlotte got such a poor return and why they didn't wait 2 picks later to trade that? Am I missing something here, or did Charlotte get a poor return considering what happened just 2 picks earlier.
You talking about the 3 team?
Yeah, you talking about the Jang being traded?
Yes.
Yeah. To me, it's because Jang, we kind of talked about it here on the last draft show I did with Chris and Evan. Jang has been a guy that has been moving up high. We discussed it here. I think when I talked here, I had him 15. I moved him up on my mock to, I think I might have had him right around this 12 or 11, something like that. But he was moving up, and essentially, I'm sure that they were worried that Jang wouldn't fall to them. So they probably were like, hey, we'll sweeten this deal. Give us, get us Jang. And they probably did it as a favor. Why I think maybe Jalen Duren, the discussion probably was a little bit less advantageous because Duren was a guy that we talked about as well that could flip-flop with Mark Williams at that center position. It would have been nothing if Mark Williams would have been the first center picked. No one would probably bat an eyelash. I just think Jang was the more wanted commodity just because of the oozing long-term potential, the dreaded P word that everybody seems to attribute to him. And Duren is more looked at as like a nice consolation prize. So I said, to me, I just think that's about the prospects. I don't know if that's necessarily about the how close the picks were. And that's what's kind of crazy about the NBA draft is you literally can have a guy picked 11th and a guy picked 13th, and literally the value or the perceived value is sky high for the other guy because of the potential. And the other guy, there's still potential there, but he just doesn't have it by the same quantity as the other guy, or the perceived quantity, should I say. So I think that's more about the prospect.
Don't forget, they got 5 picks for that trade. They got a future first and 4 future seconds.
Yeah, and don't let's not also forget this too. OKC has picks to burn, so they don't really care.
Evan, you want to hop in here and provide an answer to Ryan?
Yeah, so when it comes down to it, Usman was a one-of-one type of prospect that nobody knew where this guy's working out the whole draft process, pre-draft process. And the only major report that got out was that he had an amazing workout with the Pelicans, and all of a sudden he's getting top 10 hype. So where did he fall? At 11. It makes sense. I have to look at the details of the trade, and the Kemba Walker trade happened right before that, right? So it was a setup for another trade, like you were saying, Chris. All this entails to just having not saying like a great relationship with other GMs, but being desperate. OKC wanted another demigod that pretty much is like another project. They like Poku, but hey, Poku may not end up working out, and he's going to end up getting paid soon. You know what I'm saying? OKC is not in any rush to make any moves to get better, but they got one of the best damn hauls for their picks. Ched is a one-of-one. Usman is a one-of-one. Jalen Williams might be the best isolation scorer from this draft. He needs to work on his defense a little bit more. Oh yeah, but just work with Shea, work with Giddey, and yeah, everything will pan out just quite well for you. And then the other Jalen Williams, that's not necessarily a steal, Matthew. You can agree, but just that's a great value pick. The Isaiah Robies, the Mike Muscalas, Derek Favors. Give me a Jalen Williams, a more athletic big that I'm not saying he can stretch the floor one day, but there's no rush because he's shown flashes of that. And when I say flashes, they're the Isaiah Roby-esque flashes, but maybe he can turn it into something, man. So we'll see.
All right. I appreciate it. I'm getting ready to wrap up, everybody. I'm at 12:19. My son is ready for me to get off the phone. I told him that I would take him to the park. He had his first individual win last night at his swim meet. And he was actually forced to swim against the 10-year-olds. So he's about to be 9, so it's not as big as it sounds. But I told him that we'd go to the park. He wants to go to this ice cream shop that's there. And that's his gift from me to him today to tell him what a good job he's done. So with that, I'm not doing a show Monday. I ain't gonna be here. Sorry, not sorry. I need a day. I do. But what I will tell you is if you do happen to need to hear Hoops Faces, because some of y'all actually do a great job of giving us some positive feedback. I want to give props to Saint, I want to give props to Darling Nikki, Optimistic Pels fan, Rachel, and a whole bunch of other people who actually do reach out either in a DM or just out on the timeline saying how they appreciate what we've been able to build here and that it's become a part of their routine. And I'm ever grateful for that, as is every other content creator that comes up through here. And I appreciate that. And with that, you can go to YouTube. We are getting ready to branch out. We're actually going to have other things as well, because I'm kind of tired of Ryan like yelling at me without even yelling at me, because I understand he's yelling at me. Even when we're not even talking, I understand he's yelling at me because I am extremely deliberate and I'm not going to change, and he allows me to be me. And with that being said, like Ryan, you're up here. We had an interesting talk about audiolabs.io. That's a great expansion piece that we are working on. I just want to say thank you. We got a lot of work, and you're going to be doing a lot of it. And I want to say this: thank you. You're going to sit down sometime, and you're going to sit at your computer, and you're going to redesign the website that every single listener here is going to be able to use and interact with. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to basically create a community filter, right? There's so much news out there, and there's so many people out there. Sometimes it can get a little hectic, and with the way I've experienced NBA Twitter this season, what my idea is and what he's executing is creating a place where we can have trusted aggregated news sources as well as trusted community sources. So if you are ever thinking about writing, now's the time to go ahead and dust off that keyboard and start to think about what you might want to write about. And we got some other things planned for you. So Ryan, really, really real quick, thank you for what you are doing and what you're about to do. Anything that I missed that you want to tell everybody down below before we get ready to get our parting shots?
No, and now I understand why you hate when I do this, because, man, it's uncomfortable to have someone thanking you publicly.
Right? Right?
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Oh, very uncomfortable with compliments. It's wild.
Yeah, you're welcome, but thank you. You're the one that runs the show. I would be useless without you, so thank you for everything you do. Love fest over.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in now parting shot mode. So while we do parting shots, let me give my parting shots down below and tell y'all you need to follow Optimistic Pels Fan, because he is going to be the spearhead of open mic spaces. What is this? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful concept of people getting together and sharing a passion for performing music. And when I come back after my 3-day, I'm going to also try to help out and get some stand-up comedy so that we have another avenue of something other than ball that we can come together as a community and share a passion. I want to give a big thank you to Papi Chulo and Rollo of 77 Spaces for coming aboard, and a big shout out to the Mavs Outsider Pod. Scammer Sultan is not in the building. I want to give her a shout out too. I know the boys will tell her, and I will try to stop by sometime between 8 and 9 tonight for some great Dallas Mavericks talk. Also down below, there's some people who are here almost every day. There's too many of you to mention, and I just want to say thank you. All right, parting shots time. We'll go to Origami first. Origami, parting shot, go.
Okay, I'll make it quick. So, first of all, I brought up the Kings earlier. I did not know there was some kind of connection with the Kings and you. I was not trying to poke fun at you. I just thought that was an interesting tweet. That was out of ignorance, if that's the case. Sorry.
If there's an inside joke, you'll catch up. Don't worry. Don't apologize.
Okay. And the next thing was I did want to talk about the Blazers very briefly with their draft pick, Shaden Shannon. If I pronounced his name wrong, excuse me. But do you guys?
Shaden Sharp. You said Shaden Shannon.
I'm so sorry. Oh, it's the Shannon Sharp thing. I got mixed up in mine. I'm so sorry. Okay.
It's all good.
Anyway.
Well, that's been happening last night.
So I heard he's kind of like, he's like a shooting guard, kind of person's player. And so I'm wondering could this mean that the Blazers may be trying to move on from Damian Lillard, maybe looking to move him, or do you feel like they are trying to give him more talent to play with and make another run at it?
Shaden Sharp went to New Orleans, so you're talking about Dyson Daniels.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, yes, then.
It's all good. Matt, you got a better answer about Dyson Daniels than I do.
Yeah, I think Dyson Daniels was gifted, and I use the word gifted because he's not a guy that's going to command the ball. He's always just had plus games. Even his bad games in G League, he always makes an impact defensively, passing the ball. He comes in being able to defend, 1 through 3, pretty decent. And he sees the floor well, passes well. There was some talk of him playing point guard. I don't necessarily go that far, but he does give them a really good player to build for the future. And also, more importantly, I think he can make a relatively positive impact his rookie year with that team.
All right.
A really great connector. A really great connector. I love that pick for them.
You and this connector status. We're gonna drop the word connector from the NBA lexicon. Cash, parting shots, go.
Oh, God help us. God help every Nets fan. We're down deep in it. Hopefully things can get corrected. But really, honestly, though, congratulations to all the guys that got drafted last night. It's like a dream come true, I'm sure, for them to even be selected. Once you're selected, once you're drafted, you're a part of the family. If if you play 5 minutes or you play 15 years, it's a crazy accomplishment, and it's just great to see that. I think that's something that we should all be celebrating first and foremost, and then also I think my overall favorite pick in the draft, I think I'll leave with this, was I loved AJ Griffin to the Hawks. I really thought that was a great fill-in piece for them. I love the way that he handles the ball and pushes pace. If he finds more confidence in his offensive game, I think that could really make a difference for them. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great rest of their day. And I appreciate everybody for coming out. And see y'all Tuesday.
Oh, and my correction, I heard Pelicans. Apparently, he said Blazers. So if you said Blazers, you were right. Shaden Sharp to the Blazers. I heard Pelicans.
Yeah, Shaden Sharp went to the Blazers. Yes.
I don't know why I heard Pelicans, Origami. I literally heard Pelicans.
Oh, it's okay. But yeah, just to clarify, I did say Blazers, Trailblazers, yes.
There you go. Don't know why.
Which is surprising to me because there was there was about as little tape on him as you could find. And the Blazers seem right now to be in win now mode. They're training for Jeremy Grant. They're trying to put a winner around Dame. And then to go for a guy like Shaden Sharp is...
You're going... I'm actually trying to go.
Let's move on.
Ryan, parting shots.
All right, one last thing. I don't get my Lakers propaganda off very often, but just want to let everybody know the Lakers are building the famous Fathers Five. They just signed Scottie Pippen Jr. They got Sharif O'Neal. It can only mean one thing, is leading to sign in Bronny, and I don't know if they're going to bring in Gary Payton after something happens with the Warriors, but look out.
Hey, I like it. People this is something different. I think what Rob Pelinka is doing is trying something new, and I think a lot of people are making fun of him and the players, and that's just not warranted. Innovation usually means taking risks. This is a risk, and I think it'll work out personally. Will they end up being stars? I don't know, but
it's going to get butts in the seats for Summer League, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, and at South Bay too, especially Scottie Pippen Jr. Like, you don't make all SEC twice without being able to hoop.
Hashtag team nepotism.
You just don't like the Lakers. You better be careful, man. You're going to put some bad karma out there. You're going to end up with Russell Westbrook.
There's already bad karma out there.
You're right. Young Harriet, parting shots. How what you got heading out the door? All right. Dany D, enjoying your Friday.
Harriet melted.
Yeah, okay. It's possible. That Memphis Heat is
close. It's hot. It's hot as hell for no reason. For no reason. But I looking forward to Summer League, and again, Memphis Grizzlies Summer League champs, nicknamed them Smash and Dash. Because they are either gonna smash hamburgers and dash or smash the other teams, small forwards and power forwards. We have two offensive linemen playing for the Grizzlies. Good luck with that.
See the 2 offensive linemen.
Dany D bounced out, but I'm pretty sure if you follow the chat box down below, you'll know she was yelling at me because apparently mimosas are good. Like they aren't good, y'all. They really aren't. Here she is. She's coming back. All right.
Your food text has been mid lately, by the way, Chris.
Here,
But
I'm
Coleslaw,
here now. Thank you.
coleslaw is an elite condiment. I
it
kid.
is. Coleslaw is elite. Like I don't understand. Like I've been explaining this now for an entire season.
That don't make it right.
Yeah, it does. Like nobody.
Except that it's mid.
Like the Knicks.
No, the Knicks aren't good. But see, I already triggered you, so I've already won.
Mid.
No, you didn't trigger me. Like I just threw the Knicks out there because I know you're gonna want to talk about the Knicks.
Nah, I made fun of you and you got mad, so you brought up the Knicks. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
When have I ever gotten mad at you?
You're mad at me right now.
Shawn, if he got mad at you, he would have brought up James Dolan cosplaying a country blues singer.
Nah, I don't think you could make me mad. So.
Nah, we was talking about food and you brought up the Knicks. I just don't get it. It seems weird. Kind of weird.
Not really. When I know you're gonna want to say people always talk about the Knicks. I'm trying to help you out.
I didn't ask for that. Who said I wanted to talk about the Knicks?
No, but you are known to say that everybody wants to talk about the Knicks. So I was see, you know what? Like, here I am trying to be a good host and set him up the way he wants to be set up, and he doesn't even realize I'm trying to set him up. See, everybody always wants to talk about the Knicks. Like, that's what we were waiting for.
I really like Shawn. Shawn might be my favorite Knicks fan ever.
And now he's
I'm actually trying to drop my son off at daycare. It's been a long morning. My son got his baby ticket starting today.
Ooh.
But anyway, I was just here to say that. Listen, like Cole's, like anyone who thinks you shitting on mimosas when you big enough coleslaw is nasty behavior.
How's
like
it
that?
Behavior?
That's nasty behavior.
It's a horrible cocktail.
No. See, again. People live in extremes.
Signature cocktail of white privilege, man. You need to relax. You need to step back.
Oh, it's all privilege now because man,
let us have the mimosa,
bro. I'm gonna get to Shawn while he's dropping his son off. I'm gonna go to Dany D. She's back here with us, so she can yell at me. Dany, parting shot on the way out.
I wasn't gonna yell at you, Chris. It's Friday. It's a celebrating day. I can't talk anyway. You know what? I'm glad that you taking a day off. You deserve it. Spend some time, get some, get your mind right. Check on your food takes. Check on your movie references. I bet you hate anime. For all I know, I got to question this Twitter friendship we have now.
I actually don't care.
Oh, God.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. I could care less.
Chris about to be like Miyazaki.
I mean, he out there living up in the hills like a freaking monk. Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. Anyway, Chris, I do hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you find your center. Drink some Don Julio. Maybe that will settle you down a little bit. Try some tequila in your life. I don't know. Drink some more mimosas. It'll make you feel better. You're missing out. Oh boy, I feel like I'm drunk. I'm going to buy me some mimosas today. I'm going to buy me some today. Now you done brought it up, Chris. I'm going to make some margaritas. I'm going to get fucked up this weekend. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to probably watch some more. Maybe watch the Batman tonight. Maybe watch the Batman cartoon animated series. Watch the Doctor Strange. Watch a little bit of everything tonight, just in honor of Chris and his foolery that he parades daily.
I'm sorry. Somebody started talking about Batman and I snoozed.
And I will drink a toast to the Sixers and the Knicks for providing me the continued comedy that I enjoy. For Memphis fans that live rent free in us Dubs heads for some reason, I don't know, but it's okay. We're the champs. A week from yesterday, we became the champs. We showed the world who we are. And it's Dub summer, baby. It's a pool party. I'm back on my propaganda.
It's petty season.
It's petty season.
It's petty season.
You have a super soaker?
No, I should get one after I
Yeah,
get my
it was.
lightsaber. After
Yeah,
that comes the mail. My curries came yesterday in the mail, and my Chappy Chip gear is on the way. I just need my night shirt to put all these haters to sleep.
I can't believe like the amount of money people spend on this. It
It's
blows.
my money. Stay out of other people's pocket, Chris. Stay out of
Well,
other
no,
people's
it's not.
pocket. We
It's
be
not that.
blessed.
It's. I'm talking about the cost ratio. Like they are
Oh
stealing from
God.
you.
Oh God. Hey, well, look, you only live once, okay? Unless there's another universe after this, I don't know until I get there.
Speaking of, when are we
Anyway,
gonna print the toothpaste?
Speaking of that, do you know they actually released a paper, a peer reviewed, and I think it was physics.org. That
oh
they.
Lord, here you go on this nerd circle back. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Well, no, you said it unless there was another
But that
universe.
wasn't meant for you to respond. It's not a call and response. We're not in church. Hallelujah.
Uh, all right, go ahead and
I
land.
love you, Chris. I'm in.
All right, I love you too, Danny. Have a great weekend, and remember to drink water. Shawn, glad you be able to pop in here, man. You back or you need more time?
No, I'm here. I'm here. Um, I mean, like I said, it's been a busy morning. Like I came in the room and I saw the first tweet on the Jumbotron with the Knicks draft day trades, and from listening to Dany D's comments, it seems as if people are probably getting their shit off about the Knicks because anything the Knicks do is just going to be funny to people no matter what. So I was just wondering what the discussion around my favorite basketball team was about today in the room, if there was any.
There was. They did a great job. They cut cap, and they actually, set themselves up to make future trades next year on a deeper draft.
I agree. I think that like in our fan base, there's a lot of people belly aching and bitching and moaning and crying and whining because they let Twitter tell them for a week that they were going to get Jaden Ivey, and so they put their dreams in the front office, and it didn't happen. So now they're angry because what do I always say? Happiness equals reality minus expectations. Now, with that being said, having to use any type of asset to get off of Kemba Walker 1 year after signing him is a failure, and they should absolutely be held accountable for that. On the flip side, if OKC made this exact same trade in reverse, it will be like, oh, look how smart OKC is. They're just getting more assets. They're getting more assets. But when we do it, it's like, oh, well, we don't know what we're doing. Directionless, Knicks, LOL Knicks, all that good stuff. So I will say that, they definitely need to sign Jalen Brunson this offseason now. If they do all that, the one takeaway from all those moves is that they say, listen, there's no one that we could got at 11 that we think is better than the kids that we have now. So why not get out and get future assets? Now, they could be right, they could be wrong. And listen, there's probably some kid picked in the 20s that's going to make like multiple All-Star games. And of course, it'll be like, why did we just take that guy, right? But from a long-term perspective, I have trust in the front office. In the short term, it's a little harder because some of the things that they have done haven't worked out, and the way they've handled certain things, it hasn't been have left something to be desired. But overall, stay the course, keep playing. These kids need to play. These kids need to play more. The vets need to go. Redacted has to go, and we move.
All right. We move, and I move as well. I thought the Knicks had a great draft. I don't understand the Knicks Twitter problem this morning. Like everybody wanted Leon Rose to have a plan. Everybody wanted Leon Rose to say what the plan was, and he didn't. But it's obviously Leon Rose has a plan, and like everything that most of these Knicks fans that are complaining, because the ones that aren't complaining are fine, have complained about was not having a direction and a plan. Well, you have a direction and a plan. Now you have to trust in said direction and plan. Like I don't see the difficult part here. And we actually talked about Jalen Brunson. He's their guy. He can fit. Will he work? We'll find out. John, we'll go to you, and then Matthew Maurer. You got something, Shawn? Go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say, no, you're right, because like a lot of Knicks, like the same Knicks fans are complaining that like we gave up stuff to give away Kemba, but then they're saying the stuff we got back is worthless. Like you can't have it both ways. Like either the assets are worthless or they're not. If they're worthless, then we gave away worthless stuff to get off of Kemba. If they're not worthless, then we got back 3 first-round picks. So like I said, people just projecting their dreams on the front office, and it's like, for example, Dejounte Murray. All of a sudden, last 2 days, they better go get Dejounte Murray. Who told you we're going after Dejounte Murray? DeJounte Murray. Who told you that? Oh, a source? Like, come on. Like who told you that? Did they tell you that?
Source.
So,
you know what's funny? Like when people use sources on their tweet, like, why?
It's legit because people look at it like, oh, this must be legit because it came from sources. Like, what are we talking about here? I will say that the Kings should have the Kings should have got some value. They could have got Keegan Murray and got something from somebody instead of taking him at 4 straight up. I think they should have and I heard Kings fans are beside themselves while they pass on Ivy. But
they are.
But they should at least got, if they were to get Keegan Murray, they at least should have traded down to get him from somewhere, because Detroit was going to take Ivy. Maybe, I don't know, trade with who the fuck? Indiana at 6.
It doesn't even matter, because this is what Orlando did with Paolo. You just go to the team and say, hey, I've got, you go to Detroit, 7, Portland are 8, 9. They want to move up to pick up Ivy. What will you give me for
exactly?
What's the harm in making a phone call? And it just seems as though they didn't even make a phone call. Let me tell you, if I had been working for the Kings, if they were to hire me, I'd have been like, we need to make a phone call. Just saying.
I think they were being, and I'm taking up too much time. I think they were being greedy, because apparently the Knicks offered basically, I think it was for Detroit, but they were basically we needed, they needed another pick. I think Sacramento's either being greedy or Vivek was like, I want this guy. He's right there. Just take him.
Oh, and I like Keegan Murray. I'm one of the only ones. John, what you got for your parting shot? And then we're going to close out with Matthew Maurer, the draft review.
Just a few things. First and foremost, you don't have to be harsh on our guy Kai Soto, because we're already harsh on him. He doesn't need the additional harshness from everybody else. So let us take care of that for you. Second, we only drafted one guy this year. We didn't trade for one. That's a first. I like Musa Diabate. He'll be a contributing figure down the line. Hopefully, he can do Angel Delgado numbers in Agua Caliente. And hopefully he'll be a contributor down the road. Other things, I heard. If you checked out the press conference Lawrence Frank gave to us, he basically gave the team's thoughts about Kyrie without saying his name. So make sure to cross us out on any connecting teams to whatever he wants to do. And again, thanks Chris for keeping me here and keeping me on the level head. And enjoy the weekend.
Appreciate it. This idea that Kyrie is going to go to certain teams just makes me giggle. It really does make
the Lakers.
Yeah, right. Y'all don't know who their governor is. Y'all don't know what state that is. You thought he had a problem with what he went through in New York? The whole state, except for Reading and North.
That was more Mary Adams than the actual, but he also had to face that. We talked about that. But anyway,
yeah. Or what was that? There was another team that somebody said, and it was Atlanta.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Oh my God! Come on.
Yeah, but we've heard every team in the league so far. We've heard Atlanta. We've heard Philly. We've heard Miami. We've heard the Lakers. We've heard the Clippers. We've heard Dallas. It's never going to stop.
But Chris, the funny thing is, you got to take what Woj is saying about Kyrie as a grain of salt, because they don't have no type of relationship either. So that might be coming from Sean Marks.
That's everything. That's Sean Marks.
Yeah,
talking.
That's Sean Marks. That's not Kyrie talking. That's why we were saying, come on, man, be better.
And that's not Shams talking. That's KD's camp and Kyrie's camp. Arguably both of them.
Be better. Pick a team that makes sense. Dallas makes sense.
Well, Scoop's about to put up an article this week about Kyrie. That's who we need to listen to when it comes to Kyrie directly, unless it's coming from his mouth directly.
Yeah, Scoop B and Christian Winterfield, two of the people you need to follow if you want to follow this Kyrie story. Landon, you got 30 more seconds. What you got, man? Tell us about your latest piece and where they can find you. I need to get out of here.
They can find me at LandonBuford.com, occasionally at Sports Illustrated. And the latest piece you can find me at a newsletter that's connected to Facebook. But I wrote something on Title IX, something that Jordan Poole said last week, and then also Sue Bird. So that's one of my latest articles that I can think of off the top of my head.
All right. You missed it earlier. When the all season gets going, which, for me, this is the last day of my season. We do have plans to expand. So if you ever have written content that you want to share, just let us know and we'll put it up there.
No doubt. Appreciate you as always.
Absolutely. Matthew Maurer of the Draft Review. Your Christmas is over. The presents are all opened. Everybody knows what they have. Let's talk about next year. Who should we be watching already for our too early top 10 of the DraftReview.com?
Oh, man, look at you. You all ready to beam us up to next year?
Hey, I heard the clicking, so I know you got it.
Yeah, I'm pulling up my mock right now. Jesus. You trying to... Well, obviously, everybody knows about the kid from France. That's, yeah, that's like the worst kept secret of all time. I would say...
Wendy.
Go ahead, say it.
Wendy.
Yep, that's a fact. I would say, we'll look out for Leonard Miller, who left this... Well, he withdrew from early entry this year. Cam Whitmore... he's in high school right now. He'll be playing for Villanova. Whitehead, who's going to be at Duke coming up. I'm trying to think of all the other guys I got here. Oh, Scoot Henderson right now is in the G League. He's actually playing another year for the G League. That's going to be... He'll join Leonard Miller next year. It's just... Chris Murray, I would hesitantly have in the top 10 if I was doing, because I'm in the process of looking through this. And then Terquavion Smith from NC State, who withdrew this year. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on him. Caleb Love from North Carolina. Trace Jackson Davis, that's another one. So yeah, I mean, those are just some of the names. Oh, and of course, everybody's wonder kid that we want to know what happens to is Imani Bates. We all looking for him next year. I just wanted to say this really quick, that this is where the real work begins. So from 2010 to 2016, we've had 31 undrafted players play at least 5 years in the NBA and have over 250 career games. So this is where, even though maybe your team have a pick, or maybe, you found yourself undrafted, it doesn't mean that you can't, make an impact. So just wanted to drop that really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I asked you to do the top 10. You gave us more than 10 names, so that way people can understand that they need to go ahead and head over to the DraftReview.com and bookmark it and keep checking back, because you'll see, updated mock boards. But more importantly, you'll see some basketball history stuff too, including maybe a potential drop date for his book that he's writing on. What else you got, Matt?
I'm doing a book. I'm doing an online museum that will have some historical pieces that I've picked up from NBA people, as well as I'll start to put together, oral histories, sitting down with players, discussing, some of the things that happened to them. One of them is Spencer Haywood, Butch Lee, just a whole host of guys that, I'm sitting down, talking to them and getting their stories.
All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Basketball is a 365 endeavor. Here, though, for our season purposes, I want to say thank you. That's 240 plus days, 220 shows. Man, more work to get to, ladies and gentlemen. See you Tuesday at 10 a.m. For the off-season Hoop Spaces debut. If you missed any part of the show and you want to catch it, head over to YouTube. You can go ahead and do that and hit subscribe, and you will make Hoop Spaces Ryan a very happy person. Audiolabs.o is who we are partnered with, powering us through to our YouTube conversion. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to hit this button now. I'm like sitting here looking at my son picking up his cat, and I just have to say, cats are never the right choice. There is no right time to say, oh my God, I want to go get a cat.
Shout out to Baby Yoda.
That's
They smell. They lick you. They rub your, the scent sacks all over your body. Who wants that?
That's love, Chris.
Scent sacks just rubbing all over your face when you're trying to lay down on the couch.
That's love, Chris. They like the way you smell.
Thank you. They do. It's weird. They also plan your downfall. That's it. See you Tuesday, 10 a.m. Enjoy your weekend.
Yo, Chris, who are you referring to on that one? The animal or something else?
Ah!